everyone, starting my stream.
Why would you do that?
Dicks.
Is that all you think about?
Fuck everything.
Hey, folks, welcome to Out of the Abyss, our D&D stream with me, Beanie, and my good friends, Laurie slash Scarbeus, Wookie Matt,
Hello.
Berserker Mike,
Hello.
and Phoenixkian Phil.
Hi.
All right, it's only about a quarter of an hour late. We totally on time. Nobody can say otherwise.
God,
Absolutely.
Beanie, how could you have arrived so late to everything? God.
I mean, I actually
you'd be
thought
the
I was
one
going to arrive late today because I got out of work pretty damn late.
We've been waiting for you for half an hour.
In other words, you took so long, I ate an entire Chinese takeaway and loads of spring rolls.
You have become addicted to that stuff now, apparently.
You say
Like,
that?
it's the first
That's
one, like,
literally
2
the
weeks
second
ago.
time I've had that.
Third
Yeah,
time.
not
Oh.
even once.
Yeah, third
counting.
time.
Not
Yeah, you were
even
right.
once.
It's actually the. Why are you counting my fucking takeaways?
I actually, I'm
Oh,
not.
sure,
It's just
now.
each time you've made a point of it, and it's just stuck in my mind.
I was going to say, I knew it was 3 at this point.
Wow.
Making a point of mentioning it so people are getting back of it.
Anyway, so shall we actually get
Whoops.
started? Everybody ready to get started for some D&D?
Hey Kevin, how's it going? And for me, it was a regular
Well, we're
Thursday
starting
being in
anyway. Screw you
England.
guys.
I mean, I've been ready for the last 15 minutes.
Today was a good day, though.
It's,
I mean, I could have been ready for a while.
it has been.
How was your
one
Thanksgiving
hell of a
anyway?
week. All started with you all managing to make your way into the Kyotoan city of Slupladop,
Yeah, we did that.
aiding in the plan of a religious faction in the attempts of wiping out the head of another religious faction. However, all went awry when a demigod-like demon lord seemingly just appeared, rising out of the depths and basically destroying the town in its rampage. During that period, the party lost 2 of their companions, a Kyotoan guide by the name of
Hey, sounds funny. How's it going?
Shushar, that's right. So long since I had to say his name.
It's still
And-
funny.
Oh my god, I definitely can't remember his name. A elven prince turned Quaggoth, seemingly so. Prince Derendil.
Yes.
Ah, I remember.
During this time, although the rest of the party did manage to escape, they were split into 2 separate groups. One group fleeing in a boat into the Dark Lake itself, and the other group fleeing into the Underdark on foot.
Oh my god, she's holding a spider.
During this
Have I
time,
just noticed?
Yeah.
I'm on a different map to you guys.
tell you what, I'll put everybody on the same.
Yeah, I'm looking at Beanie's waifu. Is
one.
that what I'm looking at?
That's one.
Oh, this one. Yeah, everybody loves this
so-
one.
You've broken it.
During this time, the party of
Hey, Amber, how's it going?
Flint, Kamalt, and Anwin, Eldeth, the dwarven ranger that was accompanying the party, stumbled across a strange, forgotten tomb filled with spirits of the long dead. And eventually, having fought these spirits, they managed to free what seems to be a very powerful artifact of a weapon, a sentient longsword that unfortunately comes with its own issues, seemingly afraid of the dark, although with an innate magic that helps prevent that. So who knows, maybe it's not so nasty a thing. Whilst this was happening, the other party, Renlin, Topsy-Turvy, Sarith, the Drow, Stool, the Myconid.
I'm alright, thanks. It's been a good day.
Is that right?
Lots of
I
takeaways as
think
well.
that's somebody. Escaped on boats with a new Dwagar companion who had seemingly attempted to take charge, forcing the boat to leave early, which is the reason that the group had separated. Seemingly disappearing was one of their companions, Jim Jarvis Firth Nebulin, who, although he left on the boat with Renlin, just suddenly wasn't there anymore, and nobody seems to know why. During their boat journeys, they eventually docked on an island of fungal plant life, which eventually, during which time there was a betrayal in which the Darrow party member, Pepido, attempted to repeatedly poison Renlin. However, eventually he was chased off after a slight burning sensation. Eventually, this party itself was then split up again, with Renlin, his new companion Anwar, Turvy, and Stool falling into another strange structure below, whilst the rest were unable to follow them. They made their way through the structure, making friends with another companion, a sentient gelatinous ooze, who they eventually agreed to meet up with, sent on its way towards the surf-nebbling town of Blingenstone. And then eventually they escaped and made their way into this strange cavern of webs, which was seemingly the same place that the other party had stumbled across. As they also ended up in a cavern, immense cavern filled with webbings of fairly large and, very range of sizes.
I want to enter your giant cavern filled with webbing.
The party met up in a dramatic fight against a drow ranger and his spider companions.
It's really that dramatic.
Even with the full party together again, the drow was able to get away. He did minimal damage to the party, but he was able to escape and possibly run for reinforcements. Is a very obvious ring in each of the heroes' minds. And yes, sorry. I think that's everything. Sorry for the long backstory there, but I actually think this is the point where it's kind of relevant to cover all that.
I think it's important to go over that at the start of every session, because I can't fucking remember what happened last week.
I'm not going to go that far back at the start of every session, but considering that we've just done the full loop where both sides have just reached it again, I wanted to cover the whole thing.
Yeah, so for everyone watching, that's 30 hours all in I don't know, 5 minutes. There you go.
No, that's about 6 or 7 episodes worth. Either way, the party has grouped together again, joined by 2 new companions, yet more companions, Yuk Yuk and Spiderbait, who have agreed to escort...
Don't we have a picture of them somewhere?
There is a picture of them. I don't think I have it on the... Do I have it on here?
Worst DM.
No, I do not. I could get that for some point, but not right now.
Everybody send him hate mail.
I've got the tokens anyway.
I can do this.
You can look at it in a book, so then no one else can see it.
Give me 2 seconds to actually find the page, and problem fixed. That's not the right one. There we go. Yuk Yuk.
Spoilers.
Spiderbait.
I can't actually. None of my viewers can actually see this, but.
That's because you're not doing.
Just look at the tokens, Mike.
I can totally link this in my chat. Yes, technology.
That works. So
yes.
I believe. Sorry, I actually have forgotten this. I should have checked before we started. Did they agree to escort you to the exiting tunnel leading towards Gracklester, which is your current destination, or did they agree to escort you all the way to Gracklester? I forget how much you paid them.
I think it was
the exiting cave.
Was it? Shit. I thought it was all the way.
You gave them the braces, which is quite valuable.
Yeah.
You gave them 2 braces.
I pay them in not murdering them yet.
Honestly, I can't remember.
You weren't past the discussion.
I thought it was all the way, but take it to wherever.
I will say, considering that you gave them the 2 bracelets worth quite a bit, I will say that that they have agreed to escort you all the way to Gracklester.
Why? That's
I like
kind of...
role-playing those 2, so I love goblins. As you can tell by the amazing avatar.
Well, you're going to be incredibly upset by what I do to them then.
Fortunately, they're not on
Mike.
Oh, wait, no, you actually...
We're also
for it.
to be fair.
So,
fucking paladins.
You are all grouped up. In the midst of the battlefield, there's you can't see any of the bodies of the spiders. They've all dropped into the darkness below you. But the party is once more whole. What are you all doing? Do you wish to discuss anything? Do you wish to do anything? Or
Alright, I think it's time to get a move on then.
Okay, are we out of the cavern yet?
No, you're currently still in the battlefield
Right.
where the battle took place.
Cool.
I would be pointing out the fact that there appears to be a bit of a problem with the golem.
Yeah.
It seems to be a bit broken.
He also
How
seems to be
broken
a
are we
bit
talking
sad.
about?
A bit sad.
Who's sad? What?
Is it because
Me.
you're broken?
Aw.
No.
Flint does look at it and, with a bit of softness in his eyes, says, I can fix that if we find a forge. But I can't do anything about tools.
Haven't said that a million times already.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know if it's actually been discussed in character or not, but yeah, go on.
Well, Anwar was actively asking about it.
Right, yeah, that's fine. I don't know why I'm making a deal out of it.
So I just kind of say, it is my curse for the wounds I inflicted on my friends.
I think we should get a move on and head up.
I'm gonna lean up. I'm
Shit,
gonna
where's the name of the
sort
place we're
lean
going
up
to?
into the closest thing I can, sort of patting on the head, but
It's
it's
written down
probably sort of
somewhere.
patting on the arm a little bit.
Pat him on the arse.
I think we should get a move on to Gracklester right now before
Yes,
more
I
drow
think we
turn
should.
up.
Are you all starting? Are you starting off immediately then?
Sure.
So you.
I'll kind of just agree. Say yes. That drow did say he was going to return with more friends.
What do the goblins smell like?
Yeah, at the moment you can't smell them because they're on the other side. Like they kept away from you, and they're now like hearing you guys say you want to go on. Yuck, the smaller of the two. Says,
I never
"Well,
understood
this way then. Come on,
paladins.
get going." And immediately both of them just kind of like skid along the webbing, going about twice the speed of the rest of you, away from you in a direction, seemingly up and away from where the originally attacked group was. The group that consisted of Kamar and his lot.
Yeah, because the thing
he
about
does-
paladins
it's also
is
here.
he meets goblins and his first question is, what do they smell like? It's like, what?
I mean, let's just be glad that was his first question and not, can I murder them?
Well,
I mean,
know I
if it
can
was a
murder them. I don't
dog,
need
that
to
would
ask
make
that
sense. Dogs tend to sniff
I
people
meant
when they
more as
meet
a
them.
rhetorical question.
I don't need to ask for their permission to murder them. God,
I will say there is a very pungent smell coming from these two goblins.
I hate it.
They're very much unbathed, but there is
I hate
also a strange greasiness to it. Like,
I know
like
what you
the smell of fat. Like,
mean. Oh, I definitely know what you mean.
not that kind of. Anyway,
Do you know who Spiderbait reminds me of?
who?
One sec.
If you're going to link something in
I have no
Discord,
clue
I'm not
who
going to be
I
able to
am.
see it.
You guys are.
I have no clue who that is, unfortunately.
Oh,
But
yeah.
as you start following them, then they kind of skid off, and then you'll see them kind of coming back, like looping back. Obviously, actually getting enjoyment out of basically doing tricks and like playing with the webs as part of their movement. It would seem like they easily outdistance you guys, moving at about twice your speed whilst in this webbing, and so they're able to basically have fun skidding along the webs and doing flips and jumps and such, grabbing onto it, while still maintaining a direction that you're able to actually use as a guide without slowing down yourselves. It's quite a weird sight, at the very least.
There's a lot of weird sights down here. Some of them are walking with us.
Fortunately, the
that ain't
webbings,
Yes.
the webbings they pick for you guys are fairly thick. You do have to climb up a few more times. However, between a lot of you, you're able to basically like get stool onto somebody's back and climb up, and he's the only one that has issue with by doing it by himself. So it's easy enough for you as a large group to manage. You're traveling for about another 6 or 7 hours, maybe, in this immense cavern. Like, not once in this time do you see actual wall, and the entire time you're walking on webbing. All you see is webbing above you, webbing below you, webbings to the side of you. After about the 7th hour mark, however, you start to notice that on the edge of your sight, the webbing seems to be stuck to the edge of a tunnel. And you can finally see a cavernous wall ahead of you, leading out of this strange, webbed up area.
Okay.
It is also, you realise, as a few of you let out long yawns, getting towards the end of the day. And so you realise you're probably going to need to set up camp soon. Unless you want to do anything particular, bearing in mind that you very like all of you realise that you, pardon me, it's a very realistic probability that you are now being followed.
I really want to kill those goblins.
Why, though? They're literally our only way to our next objective.
Have you seen them?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you want to murder them?
Because they're helping us.
Okay, right. I just want to point out that I'm supposedly the evil character here, and I don't want to kill them because they're useful. And Mike's just like, ooh, something to slaughter. It's like, you're supposed to be a paladin,
Hey,
for
to be
God's sake.
fair, it's not just something to slaughter. It is something horrible and abomination unto all living things.
What's your vow, by the way?
Vengeance.
Vengeance.
As you're going to incur wrath from you.
As you're doing, as you're
If
kind
it
of
ain't holy,
about
he
this,
kills it.
discussing this, you can
I'm
actually
not
see it, like,
discussing it.
on the edge of your sight, like near the entrance. The two goblins have stopped. Spiderbait is kind of stood on the stone, staring at Yuk Yuk, who has greased his palms, grabbed one of the webs, and is basically like using other webs to kind of keep pushing himself off. He's basically just doing loop after loop after loop after loop after loop, like as consistently as he can. He does this about for 18 loops around that. Kind of falls off, wobbles, and then just kind of face plants the floor of the cave before eventually getting up.
Okay.
I'll
Obviously
just
very
give them a
dizzying.
quizzical look.
Spiderbait then greases up his palms and looks like he's about to do the same. Kind of looks like
Excuse
a
me,
little
you
mini
two.
competition between the two of them.
I think it's time we find somewhere to sleep for the night. Somewhere defendable.
Don't want to do that in the webs. Not a very nice place to set up camp. You'd probably burn down the entire cavern if you set up camp here.
I am not against that.
I have realised something.
Go
We
on.
are currently missing 2 people.
You are currently missing 2 people. Well, as far as Anwar, no, yeah, you do know that there
I
is
met both of them.
Yeah, because
Topsy and
Topsy's
Sarah
not here.
Yeah.
missing. For what it's worth, actually, the rest of the party, you realise that Topsy, Sarith, Bepido, and Jimjar are all missing.
Yeah.
Did they just not follow us up, or?
No, some of them
No,
were
2 of them,
separated.
2 of them didn't fall down the same cavern.
Right, yeah.
Remember did. One of them ran off a little bit on fire, and one of them, some of us don't have any idea what's happened. Well, none of us have any idea what's happened.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I was going to say,
how's Turvey doing?
Turvey is just kind of being very quiet and to himself. He's not really paying attention to it, but Stool is actually staying very close to Turvey at this point. Like, not in the same way that he did with Cabal, but more of a this is the closest to a person he trusts at the moment. Like, this is the closest to safety that he's got at this point. It's the last resort option. But Turvey is paying no attention. He's just kind of on auto at the moment. Hey, anyhow.
I'm just going to say, well, find somewhere nearby then.
I choose to not speak because what I might say may get us all killed.
The goblins just kind of look at each other, kind of shrug, and then walk off into the tunnel ahead of you.
I follow.
I will also follow.
Sure.
This doesn't feel like a trap at all.
I explicitly trust these goblins.
You shouldn't.
Now,
They're horrible,
let me
dirty
roll
creatures.
a survival check for these goblins with their
But we've
-1
been
wisdom.
paying.
Hey, they're technically assisting each other.
That's true, so I'll just say this is an advantage on one of them. So that's a 15. That's actually not bad. For what it's worth, Eldif is also rolling this because it's kind of her thing. She is shit. She's worse than the goblins, apparently. Actually, after a while, about half an hour of kind of travel down this corridor, as you're moving, Yuk Yuk and Spiderbait just kind of do quick alterations of one of them will rush down a corridor, whilst the other one kind of stands at the edge, just kind of gesturing for the rest of you to stop in a very attempt at an authority pose, like hand up, whilst the other one rushes in. About 2 minutes later, he'll rush back, shake his head, and then you'll carry on a bit, and then they'll do it again. About the 6th time they do this, Spiderbait comes rushing out. Instead of shaking his head, nods his head, at which point Yuk Yuk bares his chest in authority.
Oh shit! His chest is a bear.
And says, this way, dead end," and rushes down.
Wait, he said this way because it's a dead end.
Because it's
Yes.
somewhere we can rest that's defensible.
Right. Okay.
Or it's where he's planning to murder us.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is a trap. I'm just throwing that out
Yeah,
there.
good luck with that. I follow.
Yeah, I follow also. There's been nothing but trust.
I just kind of pat Kamara on the back and just like, there, friend. You're too untrusting.
All right. Let's see where this goes, shall we?
You go down about 70 feet of tunnel until it kind of turns into a ovalish kind of room of about 20-foot radius at its widest. You can actually see that already by the time you get there, the two goblins have actually scampered up to two ledges on the wall, both about the size of basically just big enough to bed one creature each. So it looks like they've basically chosen their bed area for the night. There are a few other ledges up there. However, looking up, there is a roof. This isn't like something's going to drop down on you. It's just got got a rough wall that has a few ledge.
What kind of shape room have we got? Do you want to quickly draw it on the map, or is there no really point?
I'll draw when we get to battles and stuff. I'm not going to draw every cabin you go to.
I'll find a nice safe place at the side of the area, and I'll sit down and start reading my book.
I thought you were going to say you're going to find a map there. We don't need to map out the entire system of the Underdark. Trust me, it's not worth it.
I mean, if you could.
We could. I'm not going to.
I'd rather you did, honestly. It would give us the absolute factual accuracy of where we're standing at all times.
Oh, Beanie, no.
Oh, you scared Sean off.
I'm sorry. But
I killed Beanie. It's great.
That's what the idea did to me.
Hey, don't lie. If it existed, you'd use it.
That's fair. Yeah, but I'm not making it. I'm not making that shit.
That's fair.
So yeah, you find a place to sit down. It's fairly uncomfortable. It's not. The ground is completely rock, so it's actually very uncomfortable. But you do manage to find places to, like, it's big enough for you to spread out a bit and be comfortable, at least in that regard. There's mushrooms and fungus around that you're able to salvage for food. Although there is no real water source, so eventually Eldith sets up a small, kind of like a very homebrew filtering method, using a pot and basically attempting to get water out of various fungus. It's not the greatest thing, but it's basically like mushroom juice, if you think of it that way.
Oh, we gonna get stoned.
Which, considering you've been basically living off mushrooms the entire time you've been down here.
I just remembered, like, the first session that we played of this, I nearly died so many times because I was eating random shrooms.
Yes, you were.
Memory.
Like episode
Didn't
3,
one
I
of them
think.
freeze
It's
your hand?
early.
Try to freeze your hand or something.
Something like that. It was
Would
pretty
surprise
early in.
There's a lot of bad fungus in the Underdark, dude.
I'm not surprised. I didn't think it was a good idea at the time.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Good times.
Mark off that date. All right. As you set up your watches and such as you normally would, just out of curiosity, is there anybody that you exclude from the watches? Just on a, like, in a general thing, you don't have to say who you're putting on watch this night, because we don't need to get into that every night.
I'm
gonna
not
be
excluded
going
from the watches. It's someone else's problem, not mine. Jeez.
Okay.
I'm going to be on watch, but I'm probably going to be trying to watch the two goblins as much as the door.
Which is awkward, considering that they're literally on the opposite sides of you.
Yes.
Like, at the most, you can stand at a wall and look left, look right. Look left,
Yes.
look right.
I'm aware of how difficult this is going to be, and probably give me neck strain. At best.
I would
Well,
assume
More like
Roll
neck
me-
Roll me a
exercise.
perception check, Mike.
What, sorry?
Perception check.
Perception? Sure thing, buddy. How do I perception? It is
This is the part
Wisdom.
we need to look at the
Aha.
tiny little numbers in the bottom left-hand side of the
plus
screen.
2. For my proficiency.
Any second now.
Is this advantage, disadvantage?
Nope.
Like
Just
super advantage?
Just perception.
10 times advantage?
Just perception.
11?
There you go. 11.
Cool. As you're kind of doing this, you kind of look left at the goblins, look right, nothing. Look left at the goblins, look right, nothing. Look left, nothing. Look right, nothing. Wait.
Yep. I mean, the irony is, I saw that coming.
Are you doing anything? Like, it does click in you that.
Yeah, at the point where, like, the
Wait, hang
sparks
on.
have started connecting in my brain. Like,
They're not
oh,
there
shit,
anymore,
they're
are
not
they?
there anymore.
It's only just clicked with me.
God
Do
damn
I
it.
get a perception check on this? Because I'm technically aware.
Well, my
I would
character's
say you
asleep,
get your
so
passive perception at this at disadvantage because you are still resting, like you're not actively on watch.
What's your passive perception, Phil?
It's
What's
14,
mine?
but -5 because it's at disadvantage due to the resting, so 9. In which
Oh,
case
okay.
you
Mine
don't
is
notice
still
this at
better.
all.
Yes. So yeah, at this point, when the gears finally sort of grind into motion, like, oh wait, they're not there anymore. I guess I wake someone up. I will wake up the person I like most out of this band of misfits,
oh, thank
and
God.
it's going to be Cobalt.
Cobalt is already kind of awake and
Well, that would be
I'd
even more
probably
reason.
see him approaching and probably
I was
just
going to say, you're sat there, you kind of see Kamar start walking towards you, and you're able to kind of turn your head, and you realise
Sword
he's
drawn.
see you.
is there trouble, friend? And I just kind of
The disgusting creatures that led us here have fled in cowardice.
I look for the goblins.
They're both laid down on the ledges that
God
have been
damn
laid
it,
down
Phoenix.
this entire time.
I hate you. Hate you so
I kind of
much.
just turn, look, and just like,
Is this payback for World of Darkness?
how long has he been on watch for?
Yeah, how long have I been on watch for?
At this point, he's been on watch for maybe 15 minutes.
Of course I have.
I just kind of, friend, are you sure you should be on watch? Are you tired?
I mean, I'm pretty beat up, so I probably took a few hits to the head, but...
Would you prefer to rest? I'm
Okay,
shocked.
do I now see them there?
Yeah,
Like, there's
they're
no
both
magical
there.
shit going on. I just didn't
No,
notice.
yeah, they're both there.
Okay,
You look
right.
like goblins.
Okay. I'll say, no, I'm fine. Just some disgusting goblin trickery of play here. Do I hear them laughing?
That was a snore. That was my terrible impression of a snore. A goblin
Right,
snore.
okay.
to be-
Does
to
it
be
sound
exact.
like laughter?
No.
Beanie, I need any
It
excuse.
sounds exactly like I just did it.
I
Okay,
need,
if that sounds like last
I need literally any excuse.
Why do you think they chose a ledge high up?
Yeah, because
Damn.
Mike can't reach high. We all know
I
that.
possibly,
That's
I can't
exactly
possibly
their
reach.
logic.
Fuck. And I say, no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Mike is
Of
short
course.
in real life.
And I go back to doing the exact same thing I was doing before, keeping an eye on them and the cave door or entrance, whatever.
Roll a
call it.
perception check.
Yay! Let's see if I can get it better this time. 16. Okay, it's better.
Look left, goblins. Look right, nothing. Look left, goblins. Look right, nothing. Look left, crap.
Oh,
Where the fuck they
In
go?
their sleep?
oh no. Oh,
Ugh.
that's how they smelt earlier, but I didn't mean
It could have
this.
been worse. I could have said fuck.
Oh my.
No,
But I'm
So
asleep.
are they definitely not there? I look directly at them.
you look. Bear in mind, there are ledges high up on the wall. Like you can't see the whole ledge from where you are. Think of it as like you're looking up towards it, so the ledge blocks off some of it. At this point, they've been kind of dangling
Okay.
over the edge, like Spider-Bait, one arm kind of dangled down.
Can I move into a position where I can see if they're still there or not?
Not with the obstruction, unfortunately. Like actually, roll a perception check or investigation check.
Investigation.
Yep.
Ugh, no.
Because you're actively kind of searching for this.
Do I have? I don't have that. So it's just intelligence.
-1.
It's -1. Yeah. How did you know?
And here's me thinking Kamal was the most highly educated, was all.
9.
So, as you're kind of going around the room, you're staring at these ledges constantly, like completely giving up on staring at the entrance at all at this point. Like,
Yeah, like
the
bigger threat is right there.
And you just kind of do a loop of the room, and eventually, like, it's not so much that you get to a place where you can suddenly see more. It's just that Spider-Bait just slowly lifts his head, like a really large grin in his face, just as if he's looking for you where you were. Then he just kind of turns his head to where you are, sees you staring, and immediately the head ducks back down. It's rolling insight.
Wait, first of all, this is unconnected to what you just said.
That's fair.
He lives. Okay.
Roll insight.
Insight is wisdom, but I'm proficient. So, wait, am I proficient? Oh, I am. Surprise myself.
I mean, you are a Paladin, I would kind of hope you have it.
Yeah,
12.
but he's Kamar.
I know,
Lawful
I
stupid.
kind of hope he has it.
Lawful stupid.
Seeing this, you very much get the realization that they are just fucking with you. Like they saw
That
you
sounds
watching
like-
them, and they're taking pleasure in causing you a bit of confusion.
That
Like, they're
sounds like
mischievous.
provocation to me. Like,
Take it as you will. It's your character.
I will add it to the list.
For what it's worth, Cabal, you kind of do see Kamar doing a loop of the room, staring at the goblins at this point.
Like, I'm gonna like just briefly stop resting and just kind of actually very consciously keep an eye on him.
Okay, so
So-
at this point, because I'm
Kamal's
aware that they're
not on
fucking with me.
watch. Cabal's on Kamar watch. Who's on actual one?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I'm now completely taking all eyes away from the actual watch to watch the goblins. Because clearly they're up to fucking something. Sneaky, dirty bastards.
After
But
about
what
5
are they
minutes,
up to
they
fucking?
kind
That's
of
the
roll
question,
back
like.
into their sleeping positions. Again, Spider-Bait's arm dangling over the side.
Mhm.
And start snoring away. Like, as if nothing had happened.
I continue my goblin watch.
I wish I had an encounter for this night. You watch the goblins for the rest of your watch. They barely move. Like, it seems like they're quite comfy up on those ledges.
I'm happy. They should be comfy the night before they die.
Eventually, the next watch comes. Do you kick the next person awake? Which would be Cabal,
I
actually, will
do,
say.
yes. And I tell, as
You get
whoever it is, I tell them, keep an eye on those two. They're up to something. Dirty bastards. For now, I must rest. But in the morning, their time will come. I go to sleep.
Cabal,
So,
you
these
have.
are our guides.
Sucking the thumb. Yes, I'm a big, strong man.
I'm assuming you're keeping your sword out as well.
Oh yeah. You gotta keep the sword dangling out, you know?
Well, no, it's more because your sword doesn't like being sheathed.
Also, yeah, it provides a
Yeah.
certain amount of
I
light,
know.
which makes
Yeah.
everything very awkward for everybody trying to sleep.
Yeah,
I do dim the light during when we're trying to sleep.
For what it's worth, at that point, you do have slight, not weeping, but
Yeah.
it's very obvious that at that point, Dawnbringer is scared.
Hmm.
Like she is scared of, well, yeah, the dark.
Can you please
As
tell
before-
your sword to
He has a
man the fuck
sword
up?
that is smarter than his.
As I said last time,
It's basically an enchanted,
and every time,
possessed
I-
sword.
tell the sword that it's okay. I'm here. I will protect you during the dark hours.
You both, you sleep. Dawnbringer doesn't need to. It does make the
Obviously.
sleep awkward for you.
Hmm.
I will say make a persuasion check. And nice to see if you get a good night's sleep.
Persuasion was that?
Yeah. And for what
Uh,
it's worth, as long as nights keep up this way, this is going to be a constant thing. Like, you will need to make a persuasion check each night to basically just comfort Dawnbringer.
18.
18? Cool.
Yeah,
you're
I'm
fine.
actually-
You get a night's sleep.
Every role I've ever had interacting with Dawnbringer has been really good.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm just a good father figure. Who'd have thought?
No! So, the morning eventually comes. Cabal, the goblins do nothing on your watch. Like,
Why would they?
Exactly. Morning comes.
Ugh.
The group awakens, kind of gets together. The goblins, as soon as they wake up, kind of rush off into the tunnels, telling anybody who's awake that they're going to go check out the way. They'll be back in about half an hour or so. Is anybody wanting to do anything in the morning?
Are the goblins still there?
When you
Yeah,
wake up, we'll
so-
say that Kamar is the last to wake up because I like to picture him being the kind of the big brutish character that eventually just gets kicked awake like after everybody else is up.
Right.
I'm going
Oh,
to
wait.
chat to Eldith and ask her what she knows about Gracklester, if anything.
She says, I don't know much about Gracklester, but I can tell you I know a fair bit about Dwagar. My kin have been at war with them many a time. They're not a nice folk, but they are ordered, is the best way to put it, and that can be used. They are even willing to make deals with me and my own, as long as they profit from it. And so we may be able to use that as an avenue to make use of Gracklester. The Darrow that we were told lived there, I've got no clue about them. Bupido's the only one I've ever met.
Yeah.
What's happened?
I've got to
with-
say, he always kept me on the edge.
I'll actually ask Renan what happened with the missing party members.
Oh, you mean Turvey? Topsy. Even.
Turvy, Pepido.
Turvy just kind of looks at you,
Jim Jar.
like he's right there.
Like, dude,
Topsy.
racist.
Just the ones that aren't there, the ones that.
The Drow and the Darrow as well, says Eldif.
Yeah,
well,
just the ones that weren't with us, that we would assume were with you.
I'll just
the filthy and the less filthy.
I'll just
yes?
fill in about what happened with the floor collapsing and then sort of getting separated, but them not managing to follow us. And then we haven't seen him since. As for Bepido, he tried to kill me, but he's pathetic and he couldn't manage it, so I just injured him and then he ran off into the distance. He's no threat.
And do you mention Jim Jar, how you never know where he went? Like, you were never with him, were you?
He was on the boat when you left, but then, like, within the first hour, he just, like, it was weird. It was like you blinked and he was never there. It wasn't like you just saw him disappear actively. It was like he kind of left your vision for a moment and then you couldn't figure out where he was.
Honestly, I don't really remember myself, so I don't know if Brendan remembers either.
It's clear he was just a figment of our imaginations.
I'm just gonna kind of.
A very rich figment of our imaginations with infinite money.
Interesting.
At this point, out of the tunnel, the two goblins return. Spiderbait has currently got 2 mushrooms in one hand and another mushroom in the other hand, which he is currently chomping on. They're quite big as well. Like, these are probably about half a foot tall and about half that again wide at the top end. And he's just kind of chomping on them raw. Quite vibrant in colours.
I'll just say, breakfast!
Breakfast.
Spiderbait just kind of looks at you and says, "Ooh, where?"
In your hands, I expect that those are safe to eat for everyone.
Finishes off the one in his right hand, kind of moves one from his left hand over. It's like he's looking at you, and it is very much the clear, not understanding what you're talking about kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll just sort of hold my hand out and just sort of go.
He looks over his shoulder, and then looks back at you with a very confused look.
I'm very clearly gesturing to what's in his hand.
This is very clear to you. You don't know why he's not reacting to it.
The other mushroom in your hand for me?
No, spider baits.
Under my breath, I mutter, we could always eat
goblin.
goblin.
That as well, as if to make sure that you don't take it from him.
You're going to need to see if they heard that, Beanie.
Kamar and just be like, I hear goblin's pretty chewy. Not very flavorful.
I actually also didn't hear what you said, Mike. What did you say? Sorry.
I said, under my breath, I say, we could always eat goblin for breakfast.
Yuk kind of smiles at you, a very cheeky smile, but Spiderbait doesn't seem to hear you as he's deep in conversation. Very intelligent conversation right now with Renman.
That's fair.
Smartest goblin.
Although, speaking of breakfast, do we have anything we could eat?
You've got some leftover juice that Eldif made last night, telling you all that it's probably better off to do the effort of getting the juice out of the fungus the night before as opposed to wanting to do it in the morning, as it just tire out before the day's travelling. And so there is a few, basically think of it as like a small glass of orange juice worth of like breakfast juice for each of you in the morning, but that's all you've got available to you right now.
Lovely.
I'll turn to Eldith and say, will you be able to help us get some breakfast? Seems like the goblins don't seem to understand what breakfast is.
I will prepare spells now as well.
I think they understand perfectly what they've got it.
It is true. I had some on the way whilst we were, scavenging for our breakfast. And Spidebait's just finishing his right now. Our breakfast is quite nice, actually. Eldif says, I can scrounge as we move, but we won't be able to move at a quick pace if I'm doing that. Which worries me about the drow.
To be fair, I'm slowing everyone down at the actually stalled also possibly slowing people down, but I'm only at 25 feet around.
You are, but you can, without exhausting yourselves, you can actually move at a fast pace. It just means that you basically so just to kind of get you guys up to grips with how this works, it's been a while. You can basically, if you move at normal pace, you're basically assumed as being able, as keeping an eye on the area as you move, and being able to forage and stuff as you need to. If you go at a slow pace, you can actively try and hide as you move, and you have better chances of foraging good stuff because you're paying more attention to the surroundings. If you want to, you can also go fast, but that means that you are at -5 to your passive perception because you're not paying as much attention. You're literally just kind of rushing through areas, and you're not able to forage because you're not keeping an eye out for that kind of thing. Like, you're spending all perception on making sure you're not running into something dangerous.
Considering how much food we have, which is not very much, we're gonna have to move at a pace that's quick, but also we have to be able to forage until we've got something decent.
The best you can do at that then is normal, which should be about, in the Underdark, about 6 miles a day, and that does mean that you assume that the drow will be able to outpace that. Like, if they're actively working for you, they're more.
Yeah, but if we have no food, we're kind of a bit stuck there.
That's fine. I'm just letting you know the facts that your characters know at this point, like the mechanics of it, so to speak.
I mean, I'm good for getting more food on the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't need to eat.
Once
Look
we've
at
built
you,
up a
Mr.
stock of
Robot over
food,
there.
then we won't actually need to move slower.
Flint says that he'll be able to find some stuff on the way.
Excuse me.
Well, if there is stuff on the way, he'll help find it as well, as long as we're moving at a normal pace. So is that the general plan? You're just going to set off at a normal pace, forage as you go?
I will keep the same spells as
Yeah.
I had yesterday. And yes,
And then once we've got a few days worth of food that'll at least last us to Drakelster, then we'll actually start moving fast.
You know that if you wanted to do that, chances are you'd have to slow down completely, as you won't be able to. Well, first off, the goblins tell you it's a long way to Drakelster still, but two, you can't really gather too much on a day's journey. If you're going at normal pace, you can basically just gather enough for that day.
If that's the case, that's also fine. Seeing as we have to move fast. Or at least I would say, unless anyone's got anything against that, I think that's fine.
nope.
No.
Alright then, there you go.
So you're going at normal pace and just foraging as you go. All right. So you carry on. You head out of the tunnel that the goblins led you into, and they kind of turn into a quick left turn and start running down the corridor ahead of you. It seems that just from the way they're acting, they might have explored this. This might be the direction they went when they disappeared for 30 minutes to get a bit of scouting ahead. And in fact, as you go down the corridor, you can actually see a few patches of fungal growth on the wall, a few of which have very much been picked at in recent times. The largest of the mushrooms from each one having been taken very obviously. Like, all that remains on them now is a few little mushrooms that you can take, but it's not really much more than a snack. Eldith and Flint do kind of take these and pass them out just for you to kind of chew on for a little bit of snackish breakfast. And as you go on, you do start to find other things, including, after about 2 or 3 hours, you come across an area where there's an entire wall of, a wall that has various almost ledge-like structures of mushrooms. Like, I'm sure you know what I'm meaning. Like, you know, the almost umbrella heads jutting from the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shelf something.
Shelf, yeah. Well, they're shelf.
Shelf fungus or something. I know what you mean, yeah. They are shelves.
At one point you find these, and Eldith does ask if you can just stop for 5 minutes or so, as she kind of cuts away quite a bit of this. And says, I can probably make something a bit more lasting with this, if we're wanting.
Mushroom soup?
I was actually thinking more... what it's called. Give me 2 seconds.
Flambeed mushrooms.
Oh, you can make wall mushroom out of it. Yeah, I like that. With this, I can make a mushroom dish. As in, like, a dish out of mushrooms. Don't eat it, though. It's poisonous.
A load of mushrooms. What can we make out of this? A load of mushrooms.
No, I can't. More like Trilomac bread. It won't be pretty good since I don't have access to an oven or anything, but I can probably do something over a campfire. And with that, she kind of just puts it in a... she has to carry it. I don't believe she has any...
Finishing the last of my Dr. Pepper.
No, she's got a small backpack or something that she would have scavenged from the drow.
There we go.
Back in the days.
I have a bin down there if you're wondering.
That she puts it in. As the rest of the day goes on, the tunnels are fairly consistently repetitive. It is just stone wall with every so often being broken up by patches of fungal growth all over the place. You do at one point. Sorry. You do at one point come across some small grey mushrooms. They look almost mouldy in themselves, which is, it's fungus. How can fungus that's already mould look mouldy?
Impressive.
But it's almost bushy on the top of it. But Eldif does bend down, look at them, and nods her head and takes the 3 that are there and kind of pops them in a pocket and says, "These could come in useful later," as you carry on. The rest of the day goes by.
That's what you get for downing
until
soda.
You reach the 4-hour mark, when suddenly you catch up to the goblins who've been kind of keeping ahead of you, every so often darting back to make sure you're going the right way, turning or something. And you can see that they're kind of on the edge of what looks to be a ravine, looking down, kind of looking around as if trying to figure out what's the plan of action here. As you approach, they do kind of look back, and Yuk just kind of shrugs and then points to your right, like seemingly out of view of where you guys are right now.
Okay.
What seems to be an issue?
Well, it seems to be a slight pit here. And by pit, I mean giant ravine. We could climb down, but it'd be risky, especially considering the walls are pretty smooth, and I don't particularly fancy the chances of big metal-clad folks like him heading down there. Or we could go along that, and he points again in the direction that he was pointing before.
What's he pointing at?
What's in the direction he's pointing at?
As you have to kind of approach to actually get the angle of this, but you do see basically the tunnel ends, and then there is an 18-inch platform that goes along the side of the wall. This is about 1.5 feet.
18. Right.
So it's very thin. Like, for some people to go along that, they'd have to be back against the wall, kind of going along it.
Oh, 18 inches. That's 15 inches longer than my penis.
Anyway,
I'm not sure what you were aiming for with that one.
Basically, Mike, cut off your penis, put it on the screen so we've got some sort of scale. You volunteered for this.
You'd love it.
What you're trying to say is that
That's why I said
this
do it.
path is more than wide enough to be able to walk across.
For you, yes. For people like Kamar in their big bulky armor and Cobalt, it'd be quite difficult.
So what you're
as
saying-
Redland doesn't see much of a
now
problem with this,
I
he
have a
just
whole-
looks at it and goes,
Well,
"Yeah,
that's-
let's go that way." Doesn't seem like much. It's going to be difficult.
It
When you
is
say
awkward. It's not difficult so much for you, Laurie, but it is awkward since you are still a medium-sized creature. Like, this is...
when you say
Yeah, but
difficult,
compared
are you
to
talking
climbing-
difficult terrain or
This is more than difficult terrain, unfortunately. Like,
We'll be
it
going
is-
super slow.
Yeah,
So-
you can still move at half speed on it, but there are other things involved. For example, there is the chance of just, like,
falling off
it
and
requires
dying?
a certain amount of balance. Yeah.
Oh, I look towards the goblins and I say, "What is this? You trying to get us killed?"
You asked us to guide you to get to Gracklester. This is the way to Gracklester.
How far is it now?
About a dozen sleeps, maybe.
Dozen. I
Underdark's a big place.
I can't be around with these things still alive for that long. I can't do it.
You're gonna have to.
Realize if you kill them that
Just
we're
talk
not
to
going to be
yourself.
alive for very long
Talk
at
to
all,
yourself,
right?
Kamar. Just talk to the sword.
Okay.
Yes, pay attention to your child's sword that's in your pocket.
It's
They
smarter
seem,
than me.
they seem to be nice. They're helping us.
Quiet, sword.
Fine,
Wow.
sword, you don't know.
Goddamn sword doesn't know what it's like to walk.
The better bit about that is you're like, guys, talk to your sword. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Quiet, sword.
I'll
Yeah, that
So what are you
sounds
doing?
about right.
I'll walk up to the ledge and just sort of Like I'm sort of inspecting, sort of go, and then sort of like look at the goblins as expecting them to go before me.
Oh, Spiderbait kind of smiles at you. Yuck Yuck gives a quick salute and kind of rushes off down the ledge. About 2 seconds pass, he rushes back, like punches Spiderbait in the arm, and then rushes off with Spiderbait behind him.
I'll just say, don't go too fast. Some of us will have to go quite slowly along this ledge to be sure not to fall off.
Gotcha. Yup.
And I start making my way across.
I will follow.
I make sure to go last.
Sure.
I tell you what, I already put a line of people here, but do they want to put them in the correct order?
What map are you
Line
on?
of people where? Yeah.
we're
Cracked
all on-
Mud, top one.
Cracked Mud 1
Cracked Mud 1.
is where he was.
That's the webs.
That's where we were.
I am on the motley
Where
crew.
are you?
You can also go on Cracked Mud 2 if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got some
that's the better
pathways
one,
on there, I guess.
Let's
mean,
go all
just in case
combat
we're not
here.
on webs anymore, and that map is
Give me
goddamn.
a second, I'll enforce I to the right map. There we go.
Oh shit.
So,
Which one did you put us on?
I put us on the one that we're using for random battle maps.
Ah, okay.
The one I made specifically for this kind of situation.
You're gonna have to put them on the.
Yeah, just give me 2 seconds.
In case you're wondering, this is like these are all these squares are 5 foot, like 5-foot squares. So this is like a 5-foot gap. This is like a 10-foot gap. And this is this is actually entire combat here, but we'll be using this because like these areas. Oh, you actually can't see my mouse, can you? But like these areas here, like with these zigzags in, this is basically an area we can't go. So in this case, one of these is a massive pit. The other one is like a cliffside. So we've basically got this 5-foot gap here, which we can move across. And in case you're wondering, like, that's Renlund, that's my character. That's Eldith, that's the NPC dwarf. That's Flint,
might just mean I have to.
which is a character that Matt was playing, but he's playing Anwar, who is this little fella. Turvy, that's another NPC
Is
character.
Anwar's token supposed to be smaller than all ours?
Cobalt,
Yes, he's
that
small
is Phil's
size.
character.
Right. Okay.
These are the two goblin NPCs
Why
we're
is there
talking about.
Oh, it's still there.
And that
Alright,
is Kamal, which is Mike's
arrange
character.
them as you will along the thing. The goblins are obviously in front. I'll put them.
So I made a point of going last. What about
Probably also be.
what about
I followed
Stool?
right behind.
What about Stool? Is he capable of walking this thin ledge?
He is.
Ah, yes,
I would say
my fan base
anybody
needs
of
to follow me.
small- Anybody who is small
Talking about Anwar, by the way.
is able to walk this without any issues.
That's
I'm more
how
meaning that
my
because
character and
he
his
kinda
character
just
met. He was like,
plods along. Does he have the
what is this strange creature that's
dexterity to
entered the
walk across a thin
Underdark?
shelf?
He's amazing.
Fucking ledge.
He does, just solely because of the fact that he is thin enough and small enough that it's not.
He'd
an
never
issue.
seen like a
Like
warlock
if it
before.
was, if it required any sort of acrobatics for him, he would be screwed. But fortunately, he can just kind of plod along it. And yes, he does. He, for what it's worth, stays behind Turvy.
He'll be absolutely
There's only
fine if
thing.
it
Would
requires
he be
swimming.
behind or would he be in front? Bearing in mind I'm behind.
Eldith is behind.
No, I
actually,
mean,
yeah.
Just general behind. Not
No,
right
he's
behind.
quite happy being between Turvy and Eldith. Like he also is. Again, he's not overly fond of, but he is. Like Eldith has done nothing to kind of make him feel threatened.
Yeah, you know,
um,
not swung a mace at him or anything.
Well, more referring to things like Kamar as well, who is just a very aggressive personality in general. That's kind of
Just a bit of a murdering
goblins
psychopath.
are, for what it's
Not a
worth.
psychopath.
I'll take them off.
I have feelings. I'm not
Psychopath.
a psychopath. I have feelings. I'm a
Psychopath.
sociopath.
So,
Totally different.
that is the order you're going in, yes?
Oh,
Sure.
About
I
right.
don't really care who's in front of me. I just know I'm going last.
I would say similar sort of logic as you being one of the big bulky people. I would go at the back.
I don't think that's his logic.
That
This
was his logic.
Was it your logic?
You don't know that?
This is a very awkward ravine, ledge, as I said before. So
It's
everybody
also
who's of
people-
medium size needs to roll me a dexterity.
Oh,
Why?
dear.
Why gotta be dexterity though?
I guess.
It is a dexterity saving throw.
Saving
Dex
throw.
saving throw.
Yes.
Okay.
Saving. Why would God be saving?
Don't complain. It's the chance of getting an extra proficiency
Ooh,
bonus
12.
onto your check.
Can
arguably acrobatics.
I'm guessing this isn't a high DC.
Can I have advantage?
No. In
Thought
fact,
I'd
I was considering giving you people in heavy armor disadvantage, but
Yeah,
I'm not.
I figured.
So,
I will be back.
So I'm not pushing too
no.
hard.
Be back in a quick sec.
Oh, Phil, honey, that's only a 2.
That is
Okay.
only a 2.
To be fair, there's
Is
a
there-
2. There's a 2 in my roll as well. There's just a 1 before it, which means it's a lot
There's a 1
higher.
before my 2 as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
on the other
1
side of the
plus 1.
side.
Oh dear.
So here's a thought. Cobalt's probably about to fall.
Yes.
Can I catch him without falling off myself?
Oh god, no, you can't. It's a fucking ledge, and he's like
That's
a
up to
golem.
Beanie. That's up to Petey.
I'm going to make you
Got it.
roll a strength saving throw here, Mike.
Okay, to see if I catch him.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Well, for reasons.
It's a saving throw.
Yep. and
It's more, can you catch me without going over yourself, probably.
That's fair, but why the hell don't I have this as a saving throw? That's just rude, is what that is.
You've got
You
wisdom
would
and
have
charisma, don't you?
charisma and wisdom.
Do, yeah, because I'm a paladin. But come on,
Yeah.
who needs wisdom anyway? Who needs to do
Paladins,
wisdom saves?
Clerics, druids.
Who needs charisma? Come on.
I do.
Anybody
It's where all my
else?
damage comes from.
Or any other spellcaster?
11?
Hmm.
Ah,
17.
So,
17 was my deck save.
Oh,
so you were all going along this ledge for about 5 or 10 minutes. Like, it is long. You can't see the edge ending in sight. As you're going, you kind of back against the wall, really struggling. Like those in your heavy armor, especially, along with the dwarfs, it would seem. Although Renlin is seemingly managing quite okay. Kamar, for his in his I forget the word I'm looking for, but to his credit, has actually found quite a clever way of kind of digging his hands into the rock wall, like finding the cracks where he can, and basically almost like a rock climbing wall. Yeah, like face the wall,
Finding
kind
the
of just,
wall's
like,
orifices
climbing
and
it.
putting his fingers in them.
Oh my. I mean, I'm not against
However,
You are
After
Phil.
about
No,
10
Mike. You are against that. You're literally right up against that.
it. I get it.
after about 10 minutes, there is a issue that arises as
Is
Eldeth
it that Matt's
seems to
disappeared?
step- actually, irrelevant to Matt, so we'll keep going. She steps on a rock, which unfortunately causes her to lose her footing, causing her to slip and start falling. She reaches out and grabs Flint, who also failed his dex saving throw and is pulled off. Who then reached out and grabs Bolt, who also failed his dex saving throw.
yeah,
and
God,
is
you
pulled off.
guys, how could you
in
like,
fact,
put me down with you?
as Kamar reacts to catch Cobalt, you kind of reach just out of instinct to grab him and grab all 3 of them, or at least all 3 of their weights via Cobalt's side, like via Cobalt. Like, dig your hand into a
Oh,
rock
dear.
crevice and start to feel the pull of, like, you can't grasp hard. You have to let go of one. Wall or them. You have a couple of seconds to make this decision before it's made for you.
God damn it, Beanie!
In-game.
You trying to
I'm not-
split the
I'm not
party
doing it.
again? Are you?
This is the dice, not me. Also, you guys can figure out. Like, it's not like last time. I'm not going to drop boulders on you.
So how you guys can figure it out? Half the party
thank-
dies from
Trust me, Lauren,
falling.
it was more awkward for me when you got split up. I just wanted to do it for the sake of the story, not for the sake of my entertainment. Trust me. It made the story really hard to.
For what it's worth, while he's deciding that, my AC's gone up.
So when you hit the ground, it will hurt slightly less.
That's not how it works.
Sorry, I
It's
just
not
like
how it works.
I like the idea of, oh crap, I'm falling. Pulls out shield. I'm okay now.
No, it's because
I don't know. It worked for Matt in World of Darkness.
I've enchanted.
Hey,
my,
maybe it's like a parachute.
Well, what is your new AC then, Phil?
What did I just
20
roll
or
into?
22.
I heard my name.
Got my shield out.
So, for what it's worth, Matt, all you missed is a cascade of failed rolls after about 10 minutes of being on the ledge has caused Eldith to fall, grabbing onto Flint, who also failed and has fallen, who then grabbed onto Gabalt out of instinct, who has also fallen, who has then grabbed onto Kamar out of instinct, and Kamar, failing his strength saving throw, now has the choice of either holding onto them or holding onto the wall.
And I know
So-
full well that attempting to hold on will cause me to fall as well. Like,
Yeah.
I can feel that, right?
But think about it, Mike. If you let
very
go of
much.
the wall, those goblins you need to kill, they're over there. You're gonna miss those.
Yeah, you see, this is the exact logic I'm employing. So, I know... So,
Yeah, but
But
think
yeah.
about it. You let go of us.
right?
That means the goblin to you ratio is higher.
2
That
seconds.
just means there's more of them for me than you guys. When they
It
finally
also
turn
means
on
there's
us.
more of them to fight off.
That's not really a problem for me.
Isn't it though?
I literally ran after the Demogorgon.
You did. How did
He's
that
not a
work
smart
out?
man, bear in
Not
mind.
As
You're not.
I actually rolled
Yes.
in. I actually managed to dodge everything that the Demogorgon threw at me.
Didn't he smash you for a wall?
Apart
He
from that,
did.
Apart from the part where he hit you, he didn't hit you.
Apart from the part where
Exactly.
he knocked you unconscious. Yeah,
exactly.
In one hit.
in one
Yeah.
hit. But he didn't drive you insane.
Nope. And I didn't die.
He didn't. But I mean, no one died there except that one guy.
Durandal.
That one.
And also,
Who?
Yeah,
Prince,
exactly.
Prince Durandal got.
Oh, that guy! Yeah, Prince
The guy
Darendale.
also shoot shot.
Genuinely didn't
And
remember who
Shusha.
you meant until he said Prince. I was like, oh,
No, Shusha died well before that, didn't he?
that guy who
No.
totally wasn't actually
No,
a
he
prince.
died during the fight.
Oh.
Well, he died of his people, but he died when the creature came, the Demogorgon came. Like Shusha was the one that led you to Bloop Doop. Sloop
yeah,
Doop, sorry.
I remember
Bloop
That's such a dumb name, but I like it.
What Sloop the Doop?
Most
Yeah.
of the dumb names.
As
Great
So
name.
I know full well that I'm gonna be
So,
like if I
Out of
don't let go of
curiosity.
them.
out of curiosity, because presumably we've got the beacon of sun emanating from Kamar,
Mhm.
how far down is the floor?
Can't see the floor.
Well, shit.
Also, I would have sheathed the sword right now, because otherwise it would make walking on this ledge kind of difficult.
For what it's worth, then if he was sheathing his
For
sword,
what-
I would have cast light
For
on
what
my
it's worth, you can have you can have it sheathed, but also have it slightly out. Like you can prop it against it. It's
Just slightly
awkward, but you
showing,
can do
Mike.
it. Just so you've got the light if you want it.
But in any case, I at the very least had my shield away, and which is how I'm able to grab you in the first place. But yeah, so I know full well I can feel that I will, if I hold on to you, then I'm going down as well.
Yes.
In that case, I look up at my hand, can feel it slipping, look down towards Cobalt's face, and say, "Apologies, friend. It is
God, brother!
At which point, you all kind of hear a murmuring from Flint, and suddenly the wall itself kind of reaches out. A hand emerges from the wall about the size of a bolt and just catches him. Flint still
Oh.
kind of hanging from there. Takes another
Apologies,
second-
because I was going to let go and go down with you, obviously."
takes another second, starts
Go.
muttering the same thing, and another hand kind of comes out and grasps against Eldith, kind of stopping more of the weight. So now there's kind of like there's two hands, one holding Cobalt, one holding Eldith, and Flint is kind of hanging in between. Cobalt, I'm going to need you to make a strength saving throw to save your creator from falling. Eldith is also going to roll this.
Well, Beanie, I've
He's
got to hand
missing
it to you.
hand.
That was
He's
a good
missing
idea.
hand. He's missing a hand.
You do get disadvantage on this due to the awkwardness of your hand, unfortunately.
Would I
Gotta-
not
gotta hand it to him.
assisting
Sorry?
Eldith, or would she not be assisting?
Yeah, I can't
You're,
not miss a
you're
pun.
both basically rolling this in your own. It's your own individual sides. Like one of you can technically do this on their own. It'd just be more awkward.
Technically
Like,
speaking, aren't I
think of it
still
as-
helping them?
You're rolling for the right hand side of Flint. She's rolling for the left hand side.
So we're trying to pull him in half. Got it.
Yes.
Wow,
Technically, aren't I helping this?
butchery right here.
Beanie,
Yeah, is Kamar helping technically?
does this count as me helping?
This was as you were kind of letting go. So I'm going to say make another dexterity saving throw. I know there's a lot of saving throws here, but just to see if you react quick enough to kind of like you were just letting go, and so this is a quick reaction to kind of grab on again before you lose your grasp.
Check my score. Yep. 19.
19. Yeah. So basically, even as you're letting go, you actually reach and grab again, kind of grasping this and holding onto the weight a bit. It's easier to hold onto the wall now as well, since you've only got basically Flint's weight.
So presumably I'm now
half
just
part
a
of Bolt's.
regular roll.
Yes.
Nah. Hey!
Ooh.
So,
I'll do it.
between them, Eldith kind of holds onto one side of her new hand friend with one arm, and Flint with the other one. And Cobalt reaches down and actively, with leveraging himself on Kamal's grip, actually manages to start pulling Flint up, who kind of is able to kind of clamber over Cobalt and back onto the ledge, back into position, and says, really glad you saved me there. That was my last spell.
Wait, did we just start the day?
It was his last level 2
He's a
spell.
warlock.
He's a sorcerer.
Sorcerer.
But he's only got 2 level 2 spells,
Ah,
unfortunately.
but how many sorcery points does he have?
That's a very good point. Actually, I didn't think about
Sorcery
Three
points.
sorcery points.
that. Yes, he could have.
So he could get a second level spell.
Is it? No, it costs double the spell level, doesn't it?
Does
No,
it? I thought it was
because
one
you
to
gain.
Here we go. This is where people can't
It's
handle how
not
their
really
characters
relevant
work.
now, for the sake of future, I don't actually need to know that. So 2 seconds.
To create a second level spell costs 3 sorcery points,
Oh, so it just would have. Oh, yeah, I see.
and
Yeah, so it could have saved himself.
you can turn a
Didn't
spell
realise.
into a number of sorcery points equal to its spell level.
Had that turned foul, I would have used the excuse of a very dramatic situation. He wasn't thinking straight, as you know, he was falling to his possible death, which that very much could have been. Damn you for saving that annoying cumbersome
Anyway.
NPC. So, you are all able to kind of clamber back onto the ledge, the 2 hands kind of giving away and crumbling away shortly after Eldith and Cobalt climb off them. So you're able to kind of get going again along the ledge. At this
Wait,
point,
hang on.
I'm probably
You
going to
say-
be going a little slower at this point.
You say the hands
Taking
crumble
more
and
time.
fall away. Do we ever hear them hit anything?
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
it only takes about 10 seconds before you hear as they hit the floor below.
That's a
Distance.
long way down.
That's assuming they're traveling at like 30, well, at 60 feet a turn. It's about 70, 80 feet down.
It's a
Bearing in
long
mind,
way
I'm having to try and justify D&D mechanics here to this, just for the sake of giving me a time. Because I have no clue how long a rock takes to fall.
That
Anyway.
roll would have been funnier if I'd gone a low number.
Do you have any idea how long it takes for everyone to die?
Apparently not long if I had my way. But anyway, bad DM. So you're able to keep going, although at a slower pace. Both Eldith and Flint are also kind of going at a slower pace after that fright. You do keep going, though. And as you start going, you start to notice the wall starts to have what you've come to know as... Pardon me, got to find a name. As you've come to know as nightlights, basically tube-like mushrooms or fungal growths along the wall that once they've been knocked, they light up and provide light. As you approach, you notice that these are already glowing.
Bioluminescent.
I can only
They
guess
are
it's because the
bioluminescent.
goblins have gone this way.
Yeah,
The
are
goblins
they?
are far ahead of you, as far as you know. You've not seen them since you got on the ledge.
It would make sense. Shall we continue on then, comrades?
I mean, if you look sort of to the southwest, there they are, just hanging out inside a wall.
Goddamn godmodders.
Anwar,
There they are,
Brennan.
right there. See, goddamn no clippers.
I was about to say, do goblins ever learn no clip?
Anwar, Renlin, Eldith.
My name's being read out. What is this?
Give me 2 seconds. I'm just getting all of them. So, Anwar and Renlin, you are the only two the player characters who suddenly hear something coming from across the ravine. You can kind of see that, like, you've been able to see the far wall this entire time. It's a good distance away, about 50 feet away from you, and you suddenly notice that there is it kind of, without you noticing, given way a bit, and you notice a cave entrance on the far wall. And
Are
you
we
hear-
about to be highlighted by the the fungus against the wall we're walking against.
Yes.
You hear the sound of rocks moving as if somebody has just just kicked a couple of rocks during movement.
Well, I've got dark vision 60 feet. Do I see anything?
Not right now.
120 feet.
Actually, Anwar, yes, with your 120 feet vision, you kind of follow the line of sight and see kind of ducked back into attempting to use the darkness as a means of stealth and crouch down just to make themselves less obvious are two humans. They're about 80 feet away in this cave.
Oh, humans,
They
finally.
are currently wearing...
Are they cultists?
They're wearing leather armor and have crossbows drawn.
Is that where
and
they're
they
trying to
do.
hide?
They are kind of. It seems like they're basically they're watching your party intently, like using the, as you suggested, the light of the night lights to see you.
What
Sorry,
are they
I can't
using?
really
What are
go-
they
I'll
actually
have to pull my
standing
headphones
on?
out.
Are they kind of like half climbing on the walls or something?
No, they're in a cave. As I say, there is on the opposite wall to you.
Oh,
there
sorry,
is a cave
yeah.
entrance. And you can see they're there's two humans. You can see they've got swords on their belts, although it's quite obvious they're more than happy with these crossbows at this distance.
We say that only Anwar can see this, can't he?
Only you can see this. As they kind of lock eyes with you, they realise that they've been seen, and they immediately lift up their crossbows and are going to open fire. However, everybody who heard the noise is able to act in this initiative on the first round of this initiative. So, Renlin and Anwar, you both get to roll initiative for the first round. Everybody roll initiative anyhow.
Shit
Sorry, I'm being
cakes.
Oh boy, I love
I was
rolling
gonna say, it's
initiative.
just initiative, but everyone except those two are surprised.
Yep. And
Damn it,
Elvish also
6 is
spotted
not
this,
good.
For what it's worth. For what it's worth, I was giving Cobalt and Flint a -5 due to disadvantage due to the fact that you're more focused on actually just not falling after your adventure.
Damn it, I need to put the things
So I
on
was
again.
being a little mean there, but for reasons.
That's fair.
So if you're wondering why you didn't see it with your passive perception, that's why. Also, they rolled at least 6 on their stealth. Sorry, 7 on their stealth.
Do we have any human minion
I would
tokens
actually
around
still
here?
notice that with disadvantage.
Cobalt. Passive perception 10. That's Kamar. 14. I've got on mine, which it goes down to 9. Yes, you would have actually. Sorry, you did. So you heard it, but you didn't see anything because obviously
Yeah,
you're
I
still
probably
in the dark vision.
No, but
So you
I
do get
just
to act in the round. Sorry, I apologise, Phil. I'm trying to take things away from you for no reason. The goblins are not here.
Also, you say they're 120. Wait, you said they're 120 feet away, right?
80 feet.
80 feet. Well, I should still be able to see them with the light from Dawnbringer, surely.
Bearing in mind, you've only got it partially unsheathed for the light. You've not got the full light from it, unfortunately. Just due to the fact that you're not able to hold it out to its full extent, it's not giving you everything.
Okay.
Also, from the shadows and stuff from the stuff, you can't fully see. Like you've not noticed the cave mouth with your passive perception.
So they're kind of about that far away, basically, with the goblin tokens.
So give me 2 seconds. I'll actually put them on the map. B-A-N. Bandits. So yeah, where they are. Get rid of these guys for now. Like they're there for the sake of having them on the map, but they're not actually there, so to speak. And for what it's worth, the cave entrance.
God, these bandits all look the same to me.
That's racist.
Racist.
Wow, when
That's
Kamal's
true.
calling you racist. That's the cave entrance.
Takes one, no one.
That looks like a smiley face if you look at it to the side.
It's like, yay, ambush!
Also, the ambush was spotted prematurely, so you are there. Like they were hoping to get in the middle of your group, basically, before you spotted them or before they attacked. So, Kamal, what'd you get?
Oh, the 10.
Cabal,
14.
Anwar,
16.
Renlin,
6.
6.
That wasn't very quiet. It was like a So,
I mean,
Those
you know,
natural
if
ones,
you thought I
I
said
told you
16, that'd be great.
Those natural
That would
ones I
also
told
be
you guys
cheating.
that I rolled in preparation
Yeah.
for this session were for their initiatives. So, Eldith, Anwar, Cobalt, Renlin. All right. Eldith is the first to act. She kind of hears the noise, spots where Anwar's kind of looking, and backs up against the wall as much as she can, 1 foot as forward as possible without risking too much, and pulls out her own crossbow, although she's going to hold the shot, she can't see where they are. Just check she does have a... She doesn't have a crossbow. Never mind, I'm thinking of something else. She just kind of backs up, brings out her warhammer and her shield in a defensive stance, so she's dodging. Anwar, your turn. These guys have very, very obviously just picked up their crossbows to start shooting at you. Like they're in the process of shooting right now.
Okay, bit of a strange question. But rather than supercharge my gun, am I able to stuff it full of glowing mushrooms and try and shoot it in that general direction?
No, your mushrooms will be destroyed before they left the barrel. Your gun is fire-based, like it's gunpowder, so it's explosion-based. It destroys the mushrooms.
I need to think what
The only thing
spells
you
I'm
can
using
fire out
these
of your gun is
people.
pellets, unfortunately.
Because bear in mind, I can't see them.
Press the mushroom into a pellet.
If you had time beforehand to try and build something using the mushroom's properties, you might be able to, but it'd take more than the 3 seconds that you're trying to do this in.
Great. In that case,
make me a perception check for what it's worth.
Perception check.
Like I literally have a reaction ability I can use on
Actually,
if they
it's the
shoot me.
investigation. I don't know which one is better for you, but investigation makes more sense here.
22.
So as you're kind of thinking this to yourself, you do kind of look and you see that their cave as well does have various nightlights in it. They're just not active right now.
I'm not going to charge my gun up. I'm going to take aim at one of their nightlights.
Roll on attack roll.
So, I mean, if you think about it, I could probably jump from here to there.
13.
Obviously.
No.
13. It's
Well,
AC 10 for a standing. Oh, sorry, for a standing object. So yeah, the bullet whips in and kind of rips through one of the night lights, causing a flicker of like you tear it in half, but it does cause a flicker of light to kind of go up the other ends of it. It is fading as the impact has basically killed it, but it is going to stay light for at least a round or two, meaning that suddenly there is light in this tunnel, and the rest of you can suddenly see 2 humans with crossbows bared, ready to start firing at you.
Sorry.
As the explosion from Anwar at the front has just made them visible. Anything else, Matt? That was actually a good move. I didn't mean to sound so surprised there.
I was about to say, don't know how that would work. No, nothing for me this turn.
Okay. Cobalt, you can now actually see them, these 2 humans, about to fire at the group. They're seemingly a bit slow. Anwar and yourself have reacted much quicker
Well,
than
they're very
them.
clearly
Slow.
hostile towards us.
That seems to be a bit of a
yes,
thing
they
with
are.
humans, doesn't it, so far this
Like,
campaign?
Well,
Bear in mind,
yeah.
you're taking a turn at the same time. They are very much firing at you at this point.
Can I safely draw my shield?
Yes, you kind of have to let go of the wall with that hand, but as long as you don't move, you feel stable enough that you can do that.
That's fine. I'm fine with saying I'm not moving. I'm not going to move.
Where did you
I'm
go?
going to draw my shield, and then I'm a guiding bolt. It makes no difference, really, because they need everything from hit. Let's go with the bottom one.
Okay. That is
So-
number 2, we'll say.
Range spell attack.
Pardon me.
21.
Ooh, nice.
That's it.
So he takes 4d6.
Ooh.
He takes 12 radiant damage.
So, as this bandit kind of brings up his crossbow to bear,
Literally half.
he brings it up, starts firing, and even as he does this, his eyes suddenly whip around to this bolt of light that shoots out of the darkness and crashes into his face, like cracking his skull actively on the right side and causing him just to slump against his friend to his left, who just kind of looks at him, kicks him off, and then brings up his own crossbow.
I mean, okay,
I think you just insta-gibbed him.
Really mad, but for what it's worth, the next person to attack him has advantage.
His friend just used that when he kicked him off. Advantage on getting this the fuck off me.
Advantage on getting him off.
I actually looked down and kind of sad. Cause
So what? Come on, they can see us. Don't get me off now.
Later. Later, Harold. Later.
All I do is bring pain and suffering.
That's what we need right now.
Anything else, or is it?
Goddamn emo robots.
That's it.
All right,
Go back to Hitchhiker Guide of the Galaxy where you belong.
So one of them's died, as
One
far
of
as I
them,
can
yeah.
see.
The first attack has killed one of them.
One of them
The
has
other
kill.
one is aiming currently at the group. It looks like he's about to aim it. It looks like his aim has just shifted actually towards Cobalt.
Fucking bring it.
Well, I'm going to cast Blade Ward on myself, then I'm going
So
to
for
continue
what it's
moving.
worth, my shield would also be lit up, so...
I'm guessing it'll be half.
Sorry?
Blade Ward myself, then I moved, which I'm guessing is going to be half, seeing as we're...
Yes, it is on the ledge.
Right, that's my turn.
Okay.
You just Blade Ward and book it.
Yeah.
You say book it, Blade Ward, and clearly this isn't really my problem. You've just insta-killed one of them. I mean, come on, I'm a busy man. I can't just kill everything for you, can I? Jeez.
Yes.
I'll settle for anything.
And if you're wondering, Blade Ward gives
So,
me
at
resistance
this
against
point,
attacks, so...
The boss steps out of the shadows. He passed his stealth check.
Oh.
Moves forwards. And brings a crossbow of his own up. Unlike his two minions, he actually has a heavy crossbow as opposed to a light one. Brings it up and points it at Anwar. The only one that's...
How do you make it so the token gets squished? How do you even do that?
What do you mean squished?
The bandit that's dead.
Yeah, the bandits that's dead.
El
I'm
Bandito
not
the
sure. That's just kind of disappeared. Wait, who did...
I mean, I gave him the dead thing, but I don't know how...
I wondered why this one was had the little thing saying it was stacking, and then I moved it off and there was nothing there.
Well, I gave him the cross, which was the state dead.
And,
Oh no, that's
either
crazy.
way, the bandit captain.
Dead.
He is going to fire.
Yeah, I think me and Mike did it at the same time. That could have been why.
Said that, I don't think you can with... God damn it. Hey, Matt. You're the most... Well, Matt or Phil or anybody who knows. How does reloading in crossbows work with multi-attack?
You can't reload. You can't reload unless you've got the crossbow expert feat.
That's right.
If you don't have that, then you can only make one attack a turn.
That's right.
If he has a multi-attack thing that says he can make multiple attacks with a crossbow, presumably he can.
He doesn't. I'm giving him a new weapon because
right.
he doesn't have one by standard. That said... No, we'll say...
Nestled in a crevice on the wall.
No, he's got a heavy crossbow. He only gets the one shot. He's going to fire at Anwar as well. Believing him to be the easiest target that's shown range capability so far. However, he is very much wrong as the crossbow bolt kind of hits the wall just above Anwar, who has to duck just to avoid being hit by it.
It's a good thing I wasn't taller. I could have hurt.
The other bandit then steps forwards himself and takes an aim following his boss's shot. Actually, no, he's going to still fire at Cabal, like he's scared of the person that just exploded his friend's head.
Bring it.
That's a 15, which is going to miss. You basically just bring your shield up and batter away the crossbow bolt as it skitters into the ravine below.
Ravine?
Crevice.
And then we add everybody else to the initiative.
Yay! I could be useful.
Don't get... it's still a ranged combat.
Useful.
I was going to say,
Eldif.
I'm glad I had the guiding bolt prepared.
I have a crossbow.
Eldif keeps up her...
Not the one use it, but I have one.
Anwar, your turn.
To be fair.
Do I notice that Eldif's kind of not really able to do much at the moment?
You know, just from like being around them, that a few of your party members don't have ranged weaponry.
I hand her a crossbow.
She is about 15 feet away from you right now.
I do not hand her a crossbow. I take a shot at the captain.
Okay.
And you know what? For the sake of
Do it.
why the fuck not?
Do it.
Kaboom! It's a
Cap
this is a full-on
B.
fundamental.
Alright, lad.
To be fair, I imagine your gun makes a lot of noise anyway in here.
Oh my, yes it does.
This especially so.
I know
Okay.
this especially so, but I'm saying I would assume.
So, let's see how much damage this does. Critical
Oh.
hit for
Nice.
13 piercing and 5 thunder damage.
Was this on the big guy or the
Captain.
captain or this
The
captain?
captain, yeah.
On Captain Jack Sparrow.
And that's already doubled the damage, right?
That's already including all the doubling and everything like that.
So there is an explosion roar that echoes around the room, actively vibrating the rock of the cavern as this pellet smashes through the chest of the captain,
All of a
who
sudden, this
grits
is a
his
bad
teeth
idea.
and brings up his crossbow again. However, I want everybody within 20 feet of Anwar, so Renlin, Turvey, Stool, Eldif, and Flint, to roll me dexterity saves as the explosion and the vibrations that I've caused is causing the ledge to disintegrate just enough to cause a dexterity saves being required.
I hope that's enough. 13?
Have you got inspiration?
I do, but...
He wants to use it on XP.
I mean,
Well, no, I always keep one inspiration. Every other inspiration gets rolled as a d20.
let me put it this way: you know, it's about an 80-foot drop.
Yeah, but I can also teleport, so it's not all that bad.
It's not a huge issue for Renlin.
I suppose. Sure.
So, as this occurs, everybody is kind of rocked back and pebbles and bits of rock fall away from the ledge. The only person unable to keep the balance on this is Flint, who kind of tips forward, his arms ahead of him, so he's unable to grab anybody at this time as he falls. He gets that on his turn. For what it's worth, the captain was injured, but he is still up.
Can I
put his damage
try and grab Flint reflexively?
That'll be on your turn.
Not
Which
a
I think I was going to have stuff, have him doing stuff on his turn, so I'll say that you can do stuff on your turn for him, which is your turn now. So, assuming that Matt doesn't want to do anything else, you don't want to move or anything.
No.
All right. In that case, Phil, what are you doing?
I can see Flint's falling, kind of.
Flint has, he's tumbled. He's basically arse. His arse is the only thing on the ledge at this point.
I'm gonna just.
Gotta grab that ass.
His lower ass, his lower body, I guess. Not just his arse.
Like, I'm going to somewhat violently just kind of shove him back into the wall, like making sure he's not falling.
Make a dexterity save. At disadvantage, because you'd be having, if you're holding your shield, you'd have to use your hand that's injured.
Let's say I'm not trying to grab him; I'm physically just.
You're still using the arm.
With the stump.
Just using the arm would cause shoots of pain, especially since he's to the right of you. So yeah, you'd have to use that arm. So unfortunately,
it's my left hand that's unusable.
I thought we agreed it was your right hand because your right hand is your weapon
I've
hand.
got left hand listed.
Like, he had his hand damaged,
use
like,
your left
earlier on
hand
the
for your weapon,
campaign,
then?
so...
For my mace, yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, never mind.
So I'm actually shoving him with my shield.
So yeah, you don't get a disadvantage on this. Then yeah, you are holding on with that arm. Sorry, I knew it was your mace arm, but I assumed you were right-handed.
I don't know. I've just got it written down.
I believe we had this conversation at some point. I'll trust you if you got it wrote down.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
That did not go well for you.
It didn't, but let's do that because it can't get any worse. 11.
It literally cannot get worse, yeah.
You are quick enough to grab him, but you're not quick enough to kind of secure yourself at this point. It will require a strength saving throw as well to hold on to him and hold your ground. If you've got DC 15,
Come on, here we go.
Roll.
Strength is better for me. By 1, but I'm not looking.
Oh,
I'm not looking.
nice.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You back against the wall, like focusing all the effort into your feet and hoping against hope that the ledge beneath you is stable. As you basically grab onto Flint's belt and pull, like pulling him back. Flint, arms flailing wildly, is pulled back onto the ledge. A look of shock on his face as he looks at you and says, "I had that. I'm gonna grow myself another hand. Catch myself. Definitely what's gonna happen."
As you do, just grow
I just
another
kinda
hand.
say, Now you can just use your spell on them instead.
Yeah. Come on, your turn. We'll say that was a turn's worth of stuff for you there.
Okay,
That's
so
fair.
You saved a
literally
lot.
no,
This is a turn.
literally no idea how crossbows work. So can I pull my hand crossbow out and
Mhm.
fire it in one turn, considering it won't be loaded or
Yes.
anything?
You can. You
Okay,
pull it
cool.
out, throw a quick bolt in it, and load it.
Can I
Okay.
still see these people?
What's the range of a hand crossbow?
30, 120.
So you can do this, but it's at disadvantage, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can.
And then, can I still
you can-
add smite to it?
No, smite is melee, I believe.
I think that's melee only, yeah.
Oh,
So
idea.
disadvantage range attack roll. Let's
Cool.
do this.
Don't think
and
it has
are
to
you
be
shooting?
melee.
What does the thing for smite say?
So it depends which smite.
like regular paladin smite.
I
Yeah, like I have no idea. I didn't read anywhere that it mattered, but then again,
Yeah,
wasn't
What
really
does it
looking.
say?
Again, I'm going with old.
When you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack,
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Is that the same for the other smites? Yep, okay.
smites?
So all smites are the same. Okay, never mind. Just gonna regular patoing.
And this is why you
Which is
actually read
unfortunate.
your
but
shit
I would love
when you're
to
making a
send
character.
smiting bolt at someone.
I'd love to make a
Yeah.
ranged paladin at some point. Like,
Well,
an
it doesn't sound like
archery-based
it's
smiter.
particularly feasible.
Well, that's what I'm meaning. That's why I'm a bit disappointed. That's the thing. Although you can
So,
probably homebrew that as a
vanishing-
thing. Quite
I
honestly.
guess.
that would
Hang on. I'm
massively
not
buff
certain
them
I've
up.
got this written down correctly. How do you figure out your attack
Dex
bonus?
modifier plus your proficiency bonus,
Oh, so he's actually right. My dex is just shit. Okay, that's fair.
and you're rolling at disadvantage again.
Yeah, that's fine. So +3 twice. Da-da. I mean, good start, but there's a disadvantage.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's still not bad.
It's still good. It's just, you know,
It's
could've
just
been
you were
unfortunately
aiming at the captain, right?
waste. Yes,
That's a hit then. Yes.
by sheer
Roll your
merit of
damage.
he is closer.
Hmm.
Like I would have
Uh,
hit the other guy who was closer.
So I think it's
Damage.
1d4 or 1d6
1d6 I've gone here.
plus your dexterity modifier then as well.
So that's +1. 1d6 +1.
Pardon me.
Quite you.
It's about
Ugh,
7. Yeah,
that's yeah.
it's max damage.
Uh,
So yeah,
so
that works.
as you pull out this little hand crossbow, this this measly weapon, I'll put it out at arm's length, kind of like adjust it, like you're not used to this. You kind
Yeah,
of
this feels wrong
really
at all
awkwardly
levels.
pull the trigger. Feel like it might have been a bit too soon, but no, it flies upwards, arcs. It almost takes a full 3 or 4 seconds to actually reach its target, who kind of looks up as it then just kind of straight into like between his shoulder and his left breast.
Jesus Christ, it's always the fucking shoulder.
Actually,
Never
that
mind,
was-
carry
That
on.
was between the shoulder and the left breast. I literally just said that.
Right in the nipple.
He's just there,
Uh,
like, that little thing's never gonna hurt anyone. Oh god, my chest, all of my organs.
But you do realize, looking at this little measly weapon, that was surprisingly effective.
It
You
feels
didn't like
wrong.
it at all.
It
Yep.
feels no. I
Okay.
don't. I'm not a fan of this.
That's
This is
fair.
awful.
Renland,
I audibly sound disgusted with myself.
Right,
echoes
who
a
looks
little
the
bit.
most injured out of the bandit and the other one?
it's you can kind of make out where they are due to the light being present there. However, they are still at a distance, and it's hard to see. It's hard to make out the details.
In that
considering
case, I wouldn't be able to tell which one the captain is, so I'll shoot for the one that's closer to me, so the non-captain.
I will say that you can make out details, like you can see that there's one with a heavy crossbow and one with a light crossbow, just due to the sheer size of them.
Like I would have gone for the captain, but only if I knew that was a captain. Whereas I'll just go for the closer one because that just makes sense. So,
Fair enough.
that is not a crit.
Roll your damage.
Unfortunately, let me just double check that. If I remember correctly, yeah, that is not a crit.
This is why I don't really like using those macros. They don't seem.
Well, that's the thing. I can't remember if I've made it so it tells me if it's a crit or not. But anyway.
I was going to say, if you make it like Matt's, where it actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
either way, that's max damage anyway. 13 force damage.
So,
Boom.
Well, where it shows the whole thing of what you've actually rolled as well.
Yeah, I like those
I was gonna
macros.
say that's good. So as you throw out a green orb,
Oh, that is a
flies
crit.
through the
No,
air,
you are right. That is
rolls through
actually a
the
crit.
air.
Sorry, hang on.
No,
You only have +3 spell attack. That seems wrong.
no.
No, sorry, never mind. Ignore me.
I was going to say you.
Yeah,
charisma alone's gonna
it would
be
tell
high
me if it was it
enough.
would tell me it was a crit.
So
Ignore me.
the green orb flies through the air. seeing this magical attack come
Welcome
in
back,
and remembering
Amber.
what happened to his friend, the bandit who's just about to bring his
Just joined us at the
crossbow
end of the
to bear
combat.
for another attack, lets out a shriek, brings up his arm to block it, and you actually see the orb hit and shatter his arm from the elbow upwards, as he lets out a cry of pain, being reduced to 1 health in one attack.
Damn it! I need fucking temporary shield. I need to murder something. Ugh.
Anything else? Anything else, Laurie?
Yeah. I mean, I've got places to go, man. Fucking bandit's not going to slow me down.
Stool backs as close to the wall as he can. Turvey brings out his own crossbow, I believe.
But yeah, okay, Amber, seeing as you missed it, what we're basically at is we're on like a cliff ledge.
Look, I've got so many NPCs dealing.
So this is
he brings out
what we're
his
using
crossbow,
for, like, each of these
fires
squares is
at
5
the,
foot, so there's a
recently
5 foot
injured-
square, because usually
No,
we're
no,
going
he's
through
just gonna fire
tunnels,
at the captain,
and these sort of
holding his
zigzag
hand
areas are
crossbow with
places
both
where we
hands.
can't go. That's like a
And
10-foot
It
tunnel,
does fly into the
10 foot
captain.
wide. But currently we're on the edge of a cliff, so on
Scoring
this
natural
side
hit
here,
for 8
there
points
is
of
like the
damage.
cliff
God
ledge
damn.
going up,
These hand crossbows being surprisingly
and
effective.
this section here between
Right.
like this line here
It is then
and that sort of
Flint's
curve
turn.
there is a
Flint
massive
nods at
like
Cabal
crevasse,
and
a
says,
huge
"All right,
pit.
then."
And on the other
he's
side
going
is
to
a
cast
cliff
spell.
wall, which we haven't bothered to draw on. And these
2
bandits
seconds.
are currently in a
Get the
cave,
details up.
and they're trying to ambush
Not gonna
us.
be that
And
spell.
it's not going too well for them.
Yeah.
I don't think he
So,
has
yeah.
a spell he can use, actually.
No, I didn't really. He wasn't really built for long-ranged combat. 'Cause it's meant to
It's
be a
cool.
tank.
Neither am I. I'm making do.
Yeah, we've already killed one of the
works.
bandits. Although they've nearly killed some of us.
What?
Simply by
Sorry,
knocking us off the
excuse me,
edge
second.
almost, but I'm fine, which is the important part. It's gone quiet. Silence.
What? That makes no sense.
You make no sense.
What's that?
So, just gonna read this out. This is the catapult spell. Basically, you can send an object flying for a certain distance. If the object would strike a creature, that creature must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the object strikes the target and stops moving. In either case, both the object and the creature take 3d8 bludgeoning damage. That seems off to me. Like, I feel like that should be halved if you pass the dexterity saving throw, right?
No.
The creature, on a failed save, the object strikes the target and stops moving. If it doesn't make the save, if it makes the save, it goes past it and continues.
That's
on the
okay, don't
line.
worry, we'll still be here when you get back.
Whatever it does eventually hit, whatever it
which
hits at
case-
the end, the object and what it strikes both take the damage. But
It just says both the object and the creature are solid surface. It doesn't say the object or solid surface that it strikes. It is. I'm going to say that is it hits or it doesn't, because that makes sense to me.
Yeah, like it.
I think the idea is it's a line and it hits, like it continues going. Like if it hits,
Continues
if it-
going unless
See,
someone stops
yeah,
it
if
or it
someone
breaks.
makes a save, it goes past them.
That's what I'm assuming. But the way that it's written is basically you get a dexterity saving throw. If you pass this, if you fail the save, it goes through you. If you pass the save, it hits you and stops. So either way, it's
Yeah, that
hitting you.
does-
It's just
that-
whether it goes through or not.
That
which
just
is
seems
dumb.
like it's the wrong way around. to
Yeah,
me.
especially as a first level spell.
That's,
I'm going to give them the save.
I've just copied the spell text.
Alright, so what are you doing?
He's going to pass the save, which means that it does do only half damage to him, unfortunately. As suddenly Flint kind of flicks his hand, and a rock from the ledge just flies into the cavern that these bandits are in, and strikes against the captain, who ducks back against a wall. Yeah, see, that's actually worded differently to one that I had, Matt.
Yeah,
the one that I had.
I know that they've reworded things.
In which case, that actually means that he passed his dexterity saving throw, so it just misses him entirely, the way that one was worded. So
That seems fair.
Yeah.
At the very
Yeah.
least, even if it's not intentional.
it is fairly high damage. So yeah, he just kind of steps back, and the rock flies into the cavern beyond him.
If there was a guy behind him, it would have been fine. But
And actually, from Flint, I will say that the other one has to roll against it. Choose the angle. He can aim that. The other one fails it. So the guy who's just had his arm shattered by the Eldritch Blast lets out a shriek, kind of looks up to see his boss just kind of step backwards, like, the orc from Lord of the Rings style, like seeing the catapult coming in, just kind of steps back, and this rock just flies at the guy's face and falls backwards.
Stole my kill, damn it.
Yep.
And you all kind of you can't quite hear what he's saying, but the captain just kind of looks at him and mutters something. At this point, it's the captain's turn. He just kind of looks at you all and says, "Not worth the trouble. Already cost me 2 men," and he just backs away into the tunnel, disappearing into the darkness and using the wall itself and the cavern as shelter against any further attacks.
Goddamn coward.
Says the guy who was slowly running away during the fight.
It's not running away. I just have things to do. I'm just casually continuing on, but like, oh, bandits. Put shield on, smash his arm off. Just keep going, you know? It's just a chill day.
So,
I've got shit to do. You're annoying me. I'm solving the issue.
Exactly. See, Mike knows what it is.
Pardon me. For what it's worth, again, just explaining the mechanics of how this works to you guys, in case it affects any decisions you make. This, having an encounter basically means that the drow are slightly catching up with you.
You're actually writing a number of how close they are.
Yep.
Also,
here's the thing. Now that it's obvious, I'm explaining it to you guys.
I'm imagining you're not going to fill in the answer to this question because, of course, it's more of a surprise than anything. But I just imagine that the people who are all the way back from the prison have been following us for weeks, just trying to catch us up. That's what's in my head. It's like, fucking hell, they're a bit desperate, aren't they?
Like a week.
This was suggested to you by members of the party who know of the drow, and it was explained as you were slaves belonging to the Spider Queen at this point. When you were being kept prisoner, which means that for you to escape is not as much a blow to the ego of the drow, it is actively a blow to the ego of their goddess, meaning that yes, you are very likely being followed by them.
I just like the idea that if they're
Matt, what are you doing?
They get you back, otherwise they are probably going to be in some shit with being very powerful.
The thing is, if they're chasing us and they're following directly behind us, that means we're killing everything as we go. We're leveling up. Eventually, we're just going to turn around and fight them. So they're
you're assuming they're not doing stuff like hiring mercenaries with his pet spiders.
Yeah,
not very effective, admittedly, but
or human bandits who try and ambush you in the dark.
Who
they're
knows?
not good at it though.
Who knows?
Anyway, I'm just surprised that there's humans down here in the middle of fucking nowhere.
So, fortunately, none of you were damaged by the bandits, because that was going to cause another dexterity saving throw. 2.
XP?
So, what are you guys doing? We'll do XP at the end as always.
Okay.
Oh wait, is the fight over?
Yeah, apparently.
He's run off.
Oh, coward! I shout across the place.
You kind of shout that and then look down at your measly hand crossbow. You actually find it kind of relieving that you don't have to kill a guy.
No. I think this is even better. He ran away from this, of all things. It's like, how much more cowardly can you get? He ran away from effectively a pea shooter.
I'm just thinking of Men in Black right now. It's like, I've just got this hand crossbow and he just legged it. All right.
Chuckle at this to yourself. You kind of look and see Anwar in the distance, kind of putting away his giant boomstick thing. No, it was definitely a crossbow that did it.
Obviously.
Not the guy who just made one of the head explode.
Also that. Or the guy.
Yeah, but if they're in melee range, though,
as for what we do next, I just carry on going. I mean, they're just some shitty bandits. They're not really my problem.
I am deafened. I'm quite deaf, so I shout, "Keep moving!" Unable to overhear myself over the ringing in my ears.
Yeah, everybody's ears are ringing at this point. The thunderous shot did reverberate around the ravine. It was very audible.
The acoustics in here are marvelous.
So,
I'll kind of say a shark bait and yuck around.
Shark bait means spider bait.
Spider bait.
Are you asking this? That's
literally all I've been thinking about at the time.
Actually, sorry. Before we carry on, considering it's 9 o'clock, I know we've run over a bit later than we normally have break. Does any of you need toilet break or anything?
I could
keep going.
grab a drink. Yeah,
if you want to do that, we'll take
break.
a quick 5-minute break just for people to do stuff. I'm gonna stick around, so I'm gonna pause my stream.
All right.
Okay, I'll be back in a minute.
Anyway, we're all
I
here,
guarantee
so
you
let's
this.
get back to me trying
We
to
are
kill you
indeed all
guys.
back.
So, last time it... No.
Dun, 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 dun.
2 seconds.
It's a muffin.
God damn it! I thought we were.
Ah, look,
ready.
I've chased him away with a muffin.
He's
What is
been
this?
burgled again. I mean, blame him.
You okay there, Beanie? Was it the muffin that scared you away?
Dun, dun, dun. Sorry, I just had to top you.
Da-da!
Like, all the paid advertising you guys are very
Mine
good
are
at.
bigger.
Hey, their cameras are not
I
on
didn't
my
show
stream.
off that they were the amazing chocolate chip muffins from Sainsbury's. That was also fair. That's fair. Hold up your
I've just
palm
got
and
a
get
cough.
that. That's the dun dun dun.
The only thing that I owe people money to is Relentless.
Oh, you're not even drinking
I
the
mean-
blood Relentless.
No,
amount
I will
of-
gladly
Still
drink
got
the
Rockstar
sugar-free
right
monster.
now.
I don't have any at
Advertising.
I love the white sugar-free one. It's
I fucking love it. Yeah, it's great. Tastes like
Anyway,
chips.
as promised about 5 minutes ago, let's get back to the D&D.
I don't believe you.
So, you guys have finished off the bandits. What
Oh my.
are you going to... Well, you carry on along the ledge. It takes about...
did anyone actually say they'd seen Yuck Yuck or
Oh, sorry, yes, you asked
Spider.
that.
Bait?
How loud were you saying that? Were you just asking
Ooh-ha-ha.
That was
Really
loud
making
enough
it loud.
our group could hear it. Maybe a little loud because I knew they were off ahead.
In that case, I will say, especially with the echo of the cavern,
And
you
also,
do
actually,
hear...
yeah, given all the noise that's just gone, I'm not that concerned about being quiet.
That, actually, yeah, just naturally
never
actually speaking a
have
bit louder because you're slightly deaf and still. So yeah, you're doing the thing of you can't quite hear, so you're raising your own voice to make up for it.
Well, I've been doing that for the last however long I've been deafened for.
At which point you hear from the
Just
the
downed
front,
a muffin. There we go.
We're still up here, guiding the way. Yup.
Huh?
Come on, follow the ledge. Quick, quick.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I never stopped moving.
We
So.
should follow the sound of the hideous beasts up ahead.
Maybe not so quick. Some of us would like to not fall off.
What?
Ledge only goes one way. We just want to get off it quicker. You guys
What?
can make your own pace, and we'll wait for you on the end.
That
Yup.
works.
Yeah, it does. At which point you all kind of carry along the ledge. It takes about 3 or 4 hours at your
Oh,
pace.
Jesus.
Yeah, especially with people like Eldith and Flint and Cabal are all kind of having to move at probably a third, if not a quarter of their pace just to avoid falling again. And so you are moving extremely slowly along this. It is very much delaying your travel. You're probably in a day where you could normally do about 6 miles of travel. You're doing about 3 or 4. This is an unfortunate delay to your journey. However, you do eventually get off the ledge and end up in a large tunnel once more with
How
stable
large?
footing and no ravine beneath you to fall into.
I'm just gonna,
That's nice.
as soon as we actually get onto the ground, I'm just gonna get away from the ledge a bit. Just kind of. Oh.
Flint and Eldith are right there with you. They kind of both move into their and kind of catch their breath, so to speak, or catch their feet, I guess, is the situation here. As you hit the tunnel, the journey carries on as normal. Eventually, the goblins find another dead-end tunnel for you, and you set up camp. This time, they don't seem to play any games in the night and don't cause Kamar any
Grievances.
specific grievances. Is anybody choosing to do anything during this camp, or should we just move on to the next day?
I consider stabbing them in their sleep.
Really?
You consider it? Are you doing it?
Considering it.
All right.
Just
For what it's
say.
worth, I actually will be keeping an eye on Kamar when I'm asleep.
Just saying, I'm considering it.
You watch over Kamar. You see him staring at the goblins,
That's
who
fine.
are
He
snoring
can
peacefully.
Stare all he likes. That's fine.
What it's worth, they've the way they're slept, they're kind of back to back, huddled up for warmth.
So what you're saying is, if I attack them, I could get them both
could
in
both
one
in one.
swing.
Yep.
Ooh. These are options. I like this. I'm going to think about it.
I'm going to do
You
the same as
see-
last time.
You see Kamar kind of staring at them, and he starts to think about something, and you tell this by the obvious amount of pain on his face as the gears start turning.
Nobody's oiled up there in a while.
Anything else this night?
Just keep watch mostly.
In that case, the following morning comes.
Are we going to have to murder a
And-
paladin?
Once more, as you are all
What
getting
are you talking
yourselves
about?
ready, the goblins disappear. Again, not given an explanation, but are gone for about half an hour. Returning. This time, there's neither of them are carrying anything. However, you can see crumbs and bits of mushroom juice around Spiderbait's mouth. It's very obvious that they just rushed their breakfast before they were threatened with losing it. Again. You set off on your journeys again. I'm guessing you're going to go at a normal pace again?
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Sure.
You set off and carry on along the tunnel. Again, the day is fairly standard. It's rocky tunnels with fungal growths throughout. There's nothing special that really crops up. Give me 2 seconds just to quickly check something.
Has anyone ever noticed that the two goblins with us kind of look like an up arrow and a down arrow?
Wouldn't
Well,
surprise
now
me
you
if that's
mention
on
it.
purpose.
Uh,
Where are they? Seriously? Oh, there they are.
Also,
Yeah.
Yuck Yuck looks very, very evil.
He does look
Of course he
kinda
looks evil. He's a dirty hobgoblin creature.
Goblin.
Wow, that's racist. Not even getting his race right. Ugh.
They all look
Got
the
it
same to
half
me.
right.
They all look the same to me. I took a guess. What do you want from me?
Correct species.
Actually, the species is goblinoids.
Yeah. Well, the point is, you got the correct species. You got the correct
Also,
family.
You didn't make Anwar a PC token.
Cobalt.
Makes me sad.
Held it. So, Cobalt, as you're moving,
Oh no.
you suddenly start to hear or start to notice in the air something very strange. You notice ahead of you, you started moving into a tunnel that's slightly thinner than the average in, maybe about 8 feet wide, so it's kind of forcing you to single file. And you notice that the air is noticeable. Like you can actually see the air kind of like moving like water in a lake, so to speak. Like it's barely noticeable, but it's there. Then you start to realize, like, put 2 and 2 together. That means there is a thicker gas than just air in this room. You're not capable enough in the subject area to know what that is.
I
you
just
know that it's
can't
not normal.
say, Yuck, Spiderbait, what's up with the room up ahead? It's
Like the happy
filled with
hat.
a gas of some sort.
Filled with air.
Yuk Yuk just kind of cocks his head. Spiderbait looks confused and says, "Nope."
Yes,
I can look around.
I can very clearly see it. It's heavier than the air. It's
Can I see them? Can I see it? Whatever.
Roll
it is?
perception. Roll an investigation check now. Now
Investigation.
you're actually hunting for it.
Are we?
I
Yeah.
see.
let's
Yeah,
say
anybody who's
Uh,
wanting to can do that.
Yeah, I'm
Can I make like
concerned
a
about this
nature check
gas.
or something?
And we're certain I can't do
You do-
perception.
You do actually notice that Eldif has kind of moved up next to Yukebolt, and she seems to have noticed it as well. Like she's keeping quiet since you're
20.
dealing with it, but she's quite obviously noticed it as well.
We're super certain that I can't use perception
You can't.
because I'm proficient in that and have +0, whereas investigation is -1.
I'm sorry. This isn't actual you're hunting for it kind of thing.
Why you gotta be like that?
That's what investigation and perception are. That's the two different skills.
No, why you gotta be like that?
They gotta be
0.
so.
Clearly, it's filled with fire.
There
man.
is absolutely nothing wrong with what is happening ahead. The rest of the party is just delaying your journey for no reason. That's damn stone creature.
I just kind of say,
I think
I
I see
mean,
it.
Matt, you do see it. Anybody who has seen it and has nature proficiency, you can roll that if you wish to. Let's try and
Am I
identify
able
it.
to see it?
I have Arcana.
What did you roll on your
Not with 7 investigation,
No,
I don't
you
think.
cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot.
do you
I have
specifically-
Arcana if that helps.
Specifically, you need proficiency.
I assume everybody is seeing things, and as the most sane party member, I stride on forwards.
I'm just
Just
gonna-
continue go.
I wouldn't, and I'm going to actually try and stop him.
Oh, that's not going to end well for you.
How are you stopping him?
Good luck hitting me.
How are you trying to stop him?
I will
I
try.
would just hand on shoulder.
Kamar, Cabalt's just put a hand on your shoulder.
And I'll also just say, hold on, human.
Wait, aren't you also human?
No.
I know. I'm
Half
half
elf.
elf.
You're the
Oh,
only.
okay. All right.
Although, to be fair, Renlin would very much pass as a human, so it might be to this point that Kamar has not noticed he's not human. Like,
No, I would
half-elf-
notice he's not human. Specifically.
Going to say,
Half-elves aren't hugely noticeable, especially depending on how diverse they are towards one race.
He's
Yeah,
half-breed scum.
I was about to say, it's also Kamar. He's
That's true. He's got a radar for this thing.
I know one thing, and that is
Restart.
I hate everything else.
Restart.
Okay,
So-
I react to the hand on shoulder saying, "You best remove that metal creature, lest I remove it first."
I mean, I'm stone. You could at least get your racism correct.
Oh, you don't want to be hitting that button. You never hit that button. I know one thing.
You know one thing, which apparently you don't.
That's...
At this point,
I just kind of.
At this point,
Very well.
Yokyuk has moved forward to kind of investigate what you're talking about. In the process of this, he's actually moved into the gas, like he's obviously not seeing it.
I'm going
Fix
to.
him a bit.
I'm actually going to keep a watch on him.
Mhm.
See
He
what
just
happens with him and
Looks
gas.
around and says, "Nope, nothing here."
Is there a particular smell perhaps in
Does
the
anyone
air?
have a fire?
Yeah, I've got
Yes,
searing
why?
sight.
I mean, if this gas
You'd
is
be so kind
flammable,
to just chuck some fire down there.
this gas is flammable, we could be causing a sizable explosion here.
We could. We're outside the gas, though. Just, stand to the sides.
And
Totally how
if
that
we
works.
cause a collapse in the tunnel, we won't be able to carry on.
I understand how you may not realise this, but
Yeah, but would you
gas
rather we collapse
expands
the
when it
tunnel?
explodes.
Would you rather collapse the tunnel while
I
we're
would
outside
actually, for what
of
it's
it?
worth, Matt, I would actually say that Anwar does know that.
Yeah.
Like, as an artificer, that's something he knows.
If we blow the gas up, we will. It won't be a case of we're outside of the gas. It's going to be the entirety of the length of this tunnel for probably a good, would say maybe 40, 50 feet in each direction at least, is also going to be covered by the explosion.
I mean, the goblin isn't affected so
Gas.
far.
What gas? What are you talking about?
Maybe there's just a strange colour of spores in the air, perhaps?
No, this is no spore.
Are you sure? I don't see anything.
I shake the hand off my shoulder and then stride into where the gas supposedly is, and then say, before it has a chance to do anything to me, I say, "See, nothing to be afraid of."
As he's doing this, you do notice Yokyuk just kind of bring his hand up to his head, almost absent-mindedly rubbing it. And as Kamar steps in, you breathe in. The air does taste a little funny here. Roll me a Constitution save.
Like ha funny.
Like roll me a Constitution save, funny.
Like brain
That
parasite
doesn't-
funny.
That doesn't sound funny.
It's funny to me.
And...
Con save.
Brain parasite.
Oh, that's not good.
Brain parasites.
You take 10 points of poison damage.
Goddamn.
Oof.
That was a max roll there.
Well, that's
Yeah, but
that's
still.
unfortunate. Ow.
That's
Immune to
quick
disease.
death
Damn
right
it.
there.
Immune to
Yeah,
disease.
where
not
are
poison.
where are my immunities? I don't think I have any.
Don't think anybody's immune to poison. The dwarfs are resistant to it. But nobody's immune to it.
I am not immune to it, but I don't need to breathe.
So basically, at this point, Kamar, you take a deep breath. You realize that the air tastes funny, and then you get this painful sensation in your temple. You kind of bring your hand up to kind of press against, like to grab your head toward, and just the touching your head causes a shock of pain to rack through your brain as a migraine-like headache suddenly racks you.
I move forward and
I
assume this is very clearly he's in pain.
fall to the floor and screech in manly agony.
Okay.
Yes.
I stride forward and just say, "I'll get them out," and then
well,
those that are in
I'll
there.
shout up
At this
to
point, Yuk
Yuk.
has stepped out. He's seen what happens to
Nope.
Kamar, and kind of steps out. Kind of as you go to pass him, Cobalt, he just kind of prods you and says, "Heals, please. Head hurts."
One moment.
Need a healer here.
Ow.
Oh, is it hurt the goblin as well?
Heals. The goblin, Yuk did go in there first.
Yeah, but did it hurt him at all?
He didn't show that many signs because he passed his Constitution save, but he did get a bit of a headache.
Whenever it's next my turn, I will use 10 lay on hands charges on myself. Yeah.
I'll just shout up to the goblin. I'll say, "Well, you seem strong enough to be able to get through it. How far on does the gas go? Could you quickly check?"
No, it hurts. We'll
I
find a
say-
way around. We'll find a way around. We'll pass tunnels around.
What can I say?
I say I can have a look in a moment.
What can I say? He may be a dirty slime creature, but when he's right, he's right. Like, it definitely hurts.
It'll take longer, but we can probably find another route.
Say I can have a quick scout down here.
Well, either way,
Gas-
so you've
won't
reached
be-
Kamar. You can kind of help him out of there. Like,
I just get him out. Yeah.
for what it's worth, Kamar, you do still have function of yourself. Like you can, especially with him guiding you, get out easy enough.
Yeah, and as soon as I do that, I'm still clutching my head in agony, I will lay on hands myself in the face.
Neat.
I will heal back that 10 HP I lost.
Fair enough. All right, so you pull him out, Cobalt, and as he does, as you pull him out of the gas, you kind of see a glow in Kamar's palm that's still in his head, and then he just kind of pulls himself back into his normal arrogant position, or arrogant stature.
Angry than arrogant?
Stature?
Yeah.
Okay. Prideful, we'll say.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Angry pride. As he pulls it back into his stature,
combination.
like seemingly not in pain any longer.
Like, you can't prove I was ever in pain. What are you talking about?
With that, I'll cast light on my shield, and I say I'll be back in a couple of minutes. If it's not clear it's going to end, I won't go much further.
Now, you are immune to poison, aren't you?
I'm not immune, but
Well,
I
you're
don't
not.
need to breathe.
That's fair. All right. So
Yeah, go for it.
you just start moving through the area, using your shield as your light source. You travel for about 5 or 10 minutes before
I probably wouldn't go too far, like a couple of minutes, and then I'd probably turn back.
In that case, you don't see the end of it. The gas is present as long as you for the entire journey. If you go 3 minutes,
I should say that I probably would go about 5 minutes. Yeah.
5 minutes. I'll say after 5 minutes, you do exit out of the gas. The tunnel. You actually, as you're going through, about halfway through this 5 minutes, you do actually start to hear a hissing sound, and you can see that there is a natural gas leakage in the floor below you, whereas a hole has formed, and you can actually see the pressure of this air. It seems like it must have been a recent earthquake or something that has released this gas.
Maybe someone fired a very, very loud gun.
You know that the gun wouldn't be. The gun wasn't powerful enough to do that at this distance. Like, you've been traveling a good couple of hours.
Maybe it was.
In fact, you've
Maybe
rested
that
since the
powerful.
gun was fired.
I say right. As soon as I see that, I'll have a quick look for the end of the tunnel, as you say. But I assume that would be the source. I'll head back and I'll tell them what I found,
Okay.
and I'll say if we could block that leak temporarily, and then unblock it, we could put some distance between us and any pursuers.
As he says this, Anwar, you realise that whilst that'd be a good plan, there is a flaw in it in the fact that the gas needs somewhere to escape to. It won't just disappear because the source is being blocked.
Well, even if the gas just eventually disappears, that amount of time it takes to separate and for us to walk through, we could probably just still get around in a different tunnel direction a lot faster than that.
How far does the gas go for?
You actually, for what it's worth, based on the effects you've seen of it on people, you know that kind of initial shock is the initial effect of it. Like you could probably, anybody who breathes would be taking a bit of damage from it, but you could probably get everybody through then the 5 minutes and still be alive, assuming that nobody's too frail.
Well, okay.
Looking
so,
at Stool and the goblins.
mechanical question. There is actually a mechanic in
Can't
place
hold
for you
your
to be
breath
able to
for
hold your
quite
breath. Yeah.
There is.
So would
Quite a silly amount of time, actually.
Yeah. So actually, as long as you have a con modifier, you can. It's a minute.
I
per
do.
Modifier, I
It's
believe.
like I think it's a minute. It's a minute per con plus a minute or something like that.
That sounds
and
right.
then if
Minimum
we're
on
sprinting
the-
as well, then
I
we could probably
suggest we
make it
just
through.
find a way around. Let's
course
just
you do.
make it nice
But we
and
could
easy.
actually run through it though.
No, we would still have to breathe at some point. We can't
I disagree.
sprint
We could
and
just
hold
run
for that
through
long.
it though.
As say, like you can hold your breath for literal minutes.
Like,
At
what is
this-
actually the rule for that? I mean,
at
yes,
this
it's
point-
metagaming, but
We can find out. Well, you'd know in character how long you can hold your breath for.
yeah.
I will
that's
say
what
that
I mean.
Eldif does pipe up the point. This would put a bit of distance between us and our drow friends.
Yep.
If they are
This,
following us.
this is why I would prefer to go this way rather than
I
go the
I
long
say we
way.
should go through it, and I am quite close to just going for it.
Equal to 1 plus its constitution modifier, minimum 30 seconds.
So for me, it'll be 3 minutes, and with
If you've got
sprinting, I
plus
could
2, yeah.
yeah. So and with
3
sprinting, I can get through without
minutes,
taking damage. Assuming that literally halves the time.
You bearing in mind you'd be sprinting for 5 minutes whilst also holding your breath.
Mm-hmm.
Like that'd be
Well,
with
it'd be
a
like
constitution
2.5
hit
minutes,
at the
but
very
yeah.
least, to not take a deep breath at some point. Like that'd be very difficult.
You're burning up all your oxygen.
Yeah, you burn up your oxygen and then not getting in more.
Yeah, because bear in mind, yeah, you can hold your breath for a long time, but that's probably taken into account you're not actually doing anything else.
I'm still in favor of going through the gas.
I do kind of point out that actually most of us would probably come out relatively okay. It's just the frailer party members would they wouldn't fare very well.
It's going to
with
put a lot of people close to death, but I don't think it's going to actually kill anyone.
it.
The risk
It's-
is just-
I actually say it will likely kill Stool.
That's good.
Well, that's why I was thinking. I'm just going to
Eldif
pick it up.
kind of nods ahead at that, and then she kind of stops and says, "Do mushrooms breathe?"
I actually just kind of cocked my head at that, like, I think so.
Like Eldif just kind of turns and looks at Stool, who's just kind of wobbles backwards slightly.
Small
like,
creature, do you
unsure what's
require breath?
I'm
At
actually
this
going
point,
to, like,
there is a cloud of spores that shoots out, and you hear the voice in your head. Yes, yes, breathing good, breathing good. Need breathe.
I mean, out of
What
character,
did you
I
miss,
could,
Amber?
can
Well,
I-
we killed all the
would I be able
bandits,
to
and
move
we've
at full
basically
speed
moved
if I was
on,
holding Stool?
and we're now just in the tunnels, and we've come
Yes,
across
Stool is a very
a
small
tunnel that
creature.
is
Yeah.
full of poisonous
So,
gas, and we're trying to figure out what to do
I say the
next.
solution is quite simple. We will all move as fast as possible, and I will carry the small creature.
I actually, at this
You-
I say, I can do that. I don't require to breathe.
As soon as Kamar says it, everybody feels the empathic.
No, 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 no.
Like fear, like shiver
I'm
frown
not-
that you can tell emanates from Stool. As soon as Cobalt says it, that fear turns into complete terror.
Mm.
Like this actually depresses. Like Cobalt, this actually kind of
Yeah, I
depresses
actually,
you slightly to
I
feel this.
noticeably wince and look like more depressed than I have in days.
Put a gas mask
It's
on.
just like
None of us have a gas
This
mask
has been
because
a
they
very
don't
intense
exist in
session.
D&D,
kind of,
fortunately.
I actually just like low hand.
There are spells that can
No,
like stop you from breathing,
of course
but
you wouldn't want to be near
we
me.
don't have those.
Straight up turned into Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide to the
I mean, we could
Galaxy.
find an alternate route round, which is what I'm trying to argue, but
The
no
door's
one's really going
side
for it.
terrorism
Everyone wants to
is-
just try and run through it.
Gives all the
Is
doors a
there any
cheery
way
disposition.
That
I
I
don't know why.
could finagle up some sort of breathing apparatus. Something just be able to provide like a small amount of air. To a mushroom.
Well, saying that, we do have an
Roll me a artificery check.
There we go, an
which I believe is
artificer.
which is
Matt
intelligence
is an
plus
artificer,
proficiency.
so he can
The
kind of
very
possibly craft something.
MacGyver, that's what we called it. That's right.
MacGyver check. Nice.
Yep.
Okay, as soon as I select Anwar, I can. Oh, where the hell is. There we go.
'Cause, I mean, I can teleport, but only like 30 feet.
6.
This is like 5 minutes worth of travel.
Unfortunately, the only kind of ideas you have in mind.
There's
would
literally
require
5 minutes worth
either
of
more
travel
tools than
through
you
a
have
tunnel
or more
full of
time.
poisonous gas.
Plus proficiency or just intelligence?
Intelligence plus proficiency.
8.
8. That's still the same, unfortunately.
That wasn't a good roll.
You don't have the tools. You don't have, or you don't have the time.
Oh, that was the door. One sec.
All right. The rest of you want to throw around any ideas while you're waiting?
I mean, you know my idea.
I still think we should just find an alternate route round, unless you're all okay with potentially killing some of the smaller members.
I actually say, I ask Yuck and Spiderbait how much of a detour would their detour be?
Don't know. Depends on the corridors and the tunnels around here. For all I know, I could pick one that takes us back on ourselves for several hours.
And for all we know, they could just lead us into yet another trap.
I can pretty... Hey, we haven't led you into any traps. This ain't not our traps anyway.
Those bandits were hardly a trap.
For all we know, like, the way we're finding our way here, we basically know a direction that we're kind of heading in, and we know which tunnels go in that direction. This was the tunnel that went in that direction the last time we had a turning. I think there's a couple of turns back that could probably take us in the right direction.
And if it did, how long would that set us back?
Assuming it doesn't turn, an hour or two.
So here's the thing, yeah, we can actually hold our breath, but it's 5 minutes of travel.
Assuming that is
so if we were
true,
sprinting, we could probably do it in about 2 minutes, but could you sprint for 2 minutes and hold your breath? I doubt it. I don't think I can either. So it's going to be tricky.
I'm actually going to ask Flint as well. Can he use any of his earth magic to block a tunnel? Permanently, preferably. Or like in a non-concentrating manner.
He takes a second to think about it. And gives me a second to quickly look at his
I don't have any spells I can use here. Other than potentially I could actually cast a fire spell and ignite all of the fire. All of the gas, if it's flammable. But then again, congratulations, I've done a massive explosion and collapsed the actual tunnel, so... Oof. Not entirely sure what to do other than I think just go round, because it's a lot of damage you can take.
Yeah, I'll say that works. He says, well, if I can get close to it, and I'm a dwarf, so I can get close to it, I can mold it back into place.
Well,
problem is if the gnome's right, then that means that the gas just stays there.
Well, I was thinking more if you can block up a tunnel, we could take this detour.
The tunnel's far beyond my control. I can, and at this point, he kind of moves his hand to the ground, and you can see basically a bit of the loose rubble, like maybe a foot in radius, just hardens. He says, "That is what I can do." I'm assuming this leak you're talking about is only a small one.
The leak is. I was wondering if we could perhaps force any pursuers to either take this corridor or a longer detour than one we might take.
Not with any magic I've got, I'm afraid.
I mean, if you really think our only option is to go through the gas, one thing you might be able to do is when you actually get to the leak itself, you could actually mold it so the thing actually gets bigger. I mean, we're running through it and getting past it already, so if we make it even harder to get through, maybe the drow following us will actually have no choice but to go in a different direction, because they might find an easy way to go through this gas for all we know.
I start angrily grumbling.
That's fair. The longer we take about this, though, the more they're catching up to us.
This is the issue. We still have to get through or go round. And at the moment, it sounds like we may be going round.
Fuck your muffins.
You do have amazing Palmo now. Sorry, I've just noticed.
What have I missed?
I start grumbling louder.
At this point, Cabal asked Flint if he can do anything about blocking the tunnel. Flint said that he can't do anything about the tunnel, but he could, if he gets to the leak, he could block that. Cobalt then suggested actually getting everybody through and then making the leak bigger to make it hard for the drow to follow. That. Did you not?
No,
was
that was
not you?
Brenlin.
That was what I said.
Oh, sorry.
I suggested.
Brain not working.
I suggested we took a detour and block the tunnel behind us.
Okay.
So the drow would have to take the leak or.
Sorry. For some reason, I thought you were the one that. Either way.
Was it because it was a smart idea, so you immediately didn't think I said it?
I swear I just heard it in Phil's voice. I swear I looked at his camera and saw him describe. Now I'm going crazy. I'm legitimately going crazy. And that's worse for you guys because I'm the DM, bitches. So
you're a DM, bitches. Yeah. I know.
Yes, I DM for bitches.
Unless we have a way to get our more fragile members through, I guess we have no choice but to make the detour.
I mean,
enough talk. We should act right now.
I'm actually looking at Kamar, like noticing that he's also standing still.
What do you suggest?
You had to ask, didn't you? I run over to Stool. I pick him up.
I'm gonna no. That is a horrible idea.
And I run into the gas.
All right.
You had to ask.
Can I actually see you trying to do this?
Okay. Everybody who was in the cloud of spores, which we'll say is everybody for the purposes of you crowd around talking, suddenly feel the sense of dread followed with actively loosening your bladder. Fear.
The second he turns to run towards the gas, I'm casting Hold Person on him.
Roll a wisdom save, Mike.
Wait, did you say before or when he runs into the gas?
For what it's worth.
Don't just hold me there.
When he turns to run into it. So when it's
right. I was going to say, because you're also holding Stool, so I don't want the poor mushroom man to die.
I mean, I think
for what it's worth,
holding his.
Stool under Kamar's arms, his legs are going wildly, like in the
wisdom save.
He is desperate to get out.
What is he trying to like air boost himself out even faster?
He's doing whatever he can. He's only got legs, bless him.
Wisdom save.
Yes, it is.
Wisdom save. Okay, so that's plus because I'm proficient in that, but I have no bonus. So I've got no bonus.
Fail. Please fail, Mike.
It is +2. I fail pretty fucking hard.
So suddenly, like, Kamar, thinking you're smart, kind of pick up Stool, turn around, rush, and...
I'm actually going to very quickly say, Eldith gets Stool while he's still frozen.
Eldith kind of looks at you.
Strike now while the beast is disabled.
It's more like grab his stool while he's still frozen.
Like,
that's not what I meant.
She goes to grab Stool, but Kamar's got quite a tight grip.
Because wondering Stool is actually the tiny mushroom man.
Okay,
I will point out. I'll point out that I'm not
it's
squeezing Stool at all.
You're not, but I'm assuming you're holding him, which bearing in mind he's a cap over an actual body, means you have to kind of push the cap down towards the body, which means that there's kind of at one end there's a bit of a bulge that's larger than the bit you're holding onto, and at the other end there's the legs, which means his feet which are wiggling wildly again, would be a very hard thing. Alden is kind of grabbing him from the back end, getting kicked in the face as he's doing this.
Grabbing him from the back end? Bloody hell.
Seeing she's having a little bit of trouble, I will very quickly position myself between Kamar and the gas corridor.
Because if you
guys, this is not okay.
Kamar, roll another wisdom save.
It's more if you manage to make the save.
If I make the save or you break
just sounds all kinds of wrong.
Going, so...
Yeah, that's why I put myself in the way, funnily enough.
14.
Grabbing people from behind, getting in between everything.
I think that's it.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So suddenly, with Eldith kind of holding onto Stool's legs at one end, Kamar suddenly, the momentum returns and he charges, almost stumbling over his feet as he charges towards Cobalt. Both of you roll me an athletics check. Phil, if you want to, you can do acrobatics to resist.
Oh boy!
Do what?
Oh boy, I'm proficient in this.
I'm not.
What's this roll for? Sorry.
Probably get this.
I will say that Phil, you do have advantage on this because Kamar is coming out.
You're gonna need it.
Think of it as he's gaining the momentum. Oh god, like he's suddenly gained momentum from nothing, so it is a bit awkward and clumsy.
See,
it doesn't matter, however. He bowls you out of the way as he disappears into the gas. Disappearing into the darkness. Legs of Stool wiggling wildly as Eldith Eldif's going to chase after him as well.
I'm
Being a dwarf,
also
she doesn't
chasing
really care
after
about
him.
poison.
I'll shout, "Hold your breaths!"
So 4 of your party has disappeared into the gas. What's everybody else doing?
I
Big
got
Max,
tired of
5.
waiting.
Well, shit.
You grabbed the most fragile.
I plan on curing him on the way through if he takes damage.
I rush.
Not that
after him.
insensitive.
You rush
A little
after
bit
them.
insensitive.
Yeah. I rush after
Okay.
them. And I'm going to try and hold my breath.
Vince
as
goes
I
as
can.
well.
For what it's worth, both me and Kamar do have light sources.
Turvy moves in as well.
I look to Yuck Yuck and Spider and go, well, I guess that's our vote. What do you guys reckon?
Spiderbait looks at Yuck Yuck, who kind of frowns, looks back and shakes his head wildly, and then Spiderbait turns to you and says, "Nope."
Well, you're the guys who know the way, so I'm sticking with you.
Oh, cool.
Yes,
split the party
Beanie,
again.
I know, but I have to roleplay
No,
this
no,
fucking
that's
character.
To be
Wait,
fair, worst
But to
case.
be fair, one thing I will say, Renman, you're very aware of the fact that you're in a very dangerous place, and in that case, the only things you'd have with you would be your own obvious defenses, which are capable, admittedly, but then it'd just be the goblins. Like, so far you've survived because you've had companions.
I know, but it's
And
also
you've
the
got
fact that
goblins.
like they have no idea where they're going. It's just the goblins who are leading the way. So I don't know. They could
have
run into
seen
another
me
demigorgon
use
for all I know.
You have seen me use my guiding hand spell before,
True, actually.
which,
So-
while not perfect, gives you a bit of an idea of where to go.
It basically fills the role, which is what the goblins are doing. Like, they know the general direction they need to go. They've got after living in the Underdark so long, they've got a certain sense for it, and they know the direction of Gracklestir. The arrow basically gives Cobalt that ability, and then they're just picking a tunnel based on that.
It's just as far as my character knows, these goblins know exactly where to go. My companions are completely lost. But then again, they've got to run into poisonous gas, also being lost, and these goblins are completely safe. Like, well, we could just go around. I mean, it'll take longer, but
At this
Like-
point, Yuk says to you, on our own, we're gonna get into danger. Me and Spiderbait are gonna run away, and you're gonna die. If you want us to go through that, he points at the gas. It's gonna cost you. Yup.
Here's a suggestion for you. You guys know the way around. You can also travel in this area a lot faster than we can, which means if I go through there and you make your way around, you'd be able to find us again, wouldn't you?
Yeah. There's no definite say that these tunnels connect, though. You know how tunnels work. We're kind of guessing that we're just going in the right direction.
True, but you might be able to find us if we're both going in the same direction, roughly, right?
You know what? Yes.
Okay, right. Is he bullshitting me or not?
Yup.
What am I rolling for
roll
this?
me a insight check.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. What are the odds that they're better at lying than you are detecting lies?
So are you
You
bullshitting me?
completely believe Yuk and Spiderbait.
Well, that's good, right?
Ah, fuck. Okay,
Good
right.
sign.
So I go. Oh, nice. Well, I'll tell you what. You find us again, I'll give you an extra payment to find us and lead us the way. So I'm gonna go this way, and I'll see you guys in a few hours, or maybe more. Either way. And then I hold my breath and just run for it.
I'm glad someone here can make decisions.
And what none of you hear is Yuk chuckling and saying "fool" to Spiderbait as those two leave the party.
Yeah,
Everybody
well,
roll me
I
a
did say I'd
Constitution
pay them
saving throw.
extra, and as far as I'm concerned, that's enough of a reason for them to come with.
You did. They've already got two fairly big races. Everybody who needs to breathe, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah,
Right.
here we go.
In their mind, it's not worth the risk of going off on their own to try and find you when they've got other safe places
that's
they can
handy.
head to. Not for when they've already got a decent amount.
Yeah, it's pretty good for me too.
All right.
Alright, 13 for me.
12.
Natural
Christ.
4 on stool.
There goes my insight.
There goes stool.
Inspiration, even. Inspiration is something we get for doing something special. It's like a congratulations type thing, which is a 1d4.
Oh, man,
We're only
Matt's
allowed
doing,
to have a
proper
maximum of
voice
3 of them.
acting. Like he's dying in real life
And
as well.
yeah, I basically just
Method,
only
man,
got a
method.
10 on a
What
constitution
did you all
save
get?
for poison, so...
I ran in first.
So,
I got 21.
21. You take 2 points of poison damage, Kamar.
Nice.
Is
it- Do I resist it because I've got heavy armor?
You do not.
Worth a try.
Remember, for what it's worth,
I got a 13.
It's a Constitution saving throw, not a check. I don't know if
Oh,
that
so-
matters for you. As a warlock, I believe you're proficient in that because
Yeah,
concentration.
they
am I right
gain,
in that?
wisdom. and
No.
charisma.
Oh, never mind then. Ignore me. In that case, you.
I got
still
a-
pass, you know what I'm talking about.
I got a 13, yeah.
Anwar, you pass.
Yeah.
So all 3 of you take 2 points of damage.
Ow.
Stool takes 5 points.
Yeah, as soon as
Could be
I
worse, I
take
guess.
damage from it, as soon as I take damage from it, I use the last 5 lay on hands charges I have for today on stool, like while I'm running if I can.
You kind of rush through the
Oh,
glow
this is going to
kind
cost
of
us a lot.
pulsing through Stool, whose legs kind of you actually feel the movement of his legs, which have been annoying this entire time. They start to slow down as if he's starting to understand your reasoning, and he's in pain. He's not liking it, but
Oh, well, they're
he
gone.
understands at least.
I've got this mental image of me like sword out one hand, stool onto the other, charge while he's glowing in my hand. Oh!
Legs wiggling like being stool napped.
It's amazing.
He's
I wish
also
I had
taking
like a lot of viewers so somebody would fan out that shit.
damage. That would be cool fan art. All right. So 5 minutes or so, well, about 2 or 3 minutes pass as everybody rushes through this gas, and you all come out on the other end. It actually wasn't as bad as it seemed to be for Kamar originally.
I mean, Mike basically Leroy Jenkins into the gas, so...
Did it or did it not work?
The fact that
did
you were
we
able to
die?
hold your breath and stuff helped you immensely.
But did
and-
we die?
and you all got out safely. On the
Oh,
other
thank
side,
God.
and you have legitimately put a mechanical slow between you and the drow.
So once we get clear of the gas, I put stool down, but keep a firm hold on him for the minute, and then I say to him, "Small creature, are you hurt?"
He just roll me a persuasion check.
What, as in, please be hurt? What is this?
I
Mm,
know, I'll roll it.
Persuasion is the closest thing to diplomacy in this game. It is a
You're
Mm.
you're
trying to
being,
persuade
it's a friendly social interaction, basically.
It will
like
not
fr-
surprise anyone to find I'm not proficient in that.
And yet you
Really?
still keep rolling high on it for some
Yeah.
reason, but only when you're talking to
This will be the
yourself.
one time. Nope.
No.
I
Alright,
am
so
the
it's time to
diplomat,
take headphones
everybody.
out.
That's all
Okay.
kinds of wrong.
You, like, at this moment, like, you just kind of take a knee, kind of bend down, put yourself face to face with Stool and say, "Little creature, are you all right?" At which point, Stool, like, you're still in, like, you've still got the spore effect on you
Yeah.
for now, and you feel the surprise. Like, Stool wasn't expecting this. You just hear, "Oh, I'm okay."
I say, good, and then pat him super awkwardly because I don't know if that's like normal.
He just
He's
kind
both
of,
a child and not human. This is all kinds of weird.
the head, like, staying completely still. Otherwise, the cat just kind of shrinks in with the the pat, and then just kind of vibrates downwards up into, like, as if I could think a dog kind of shaking off wet fur. Like,
Oh shit! I turned on the vibrate function. I'm sorry.
it's
I was about to
only
say
one.
that
It's only
thing
one
turned on
vibration. Like,
Stool.
it goes from the top to the bottom and then stops. And
I
then Stool kind of just like he takes up a stance that you've actually noticed him do with Cobalt much long time ago with yourself now, like taking up behind you. Like,
Before everybody shows
going
up,
to go well. How
Before
far
everybody-
behind am I here?
but
Bearing in
before
mind I
everybody
did not
shows
wait
up,
long.
yeah, before everyone
if it-
shows up, I make a point, like just at the last minute, whispering, "You need not worry, small creature. I will protect you. You're my favorite." And then I stand there as if like, God, it took me long enough to get through.
And at this point, as you stand up and turn around, Cobalt, you come rushing out of the darkness side by side of Eldeth.
I swing at him.
You swing it.
Yeah.
You see.
I like that. Like, don't worry, I'll protect you.
You feel suddenly as you bring your what is it, a mace, isn't it?
Oh, I'm not swinging with my mace. I'm swinging with
Oh,
my
thank God.
I'm just shouting,
there,
bloody fool!
I make no attempt to dodge this.
you have a
Are you going to block it with your
strange set
face?
of emotions overtake you. Like you go from a strange calm to a sudden like fear as you push him. It's not actively pushing over your own emotions, but it's the weird telepathic empathy that you have with Stool. You suddenly realize as you're mid punch, like you were calm, or he was calm, but now upon sighting you attacking Kamar, is the fear settling in.
So yeah, I make absolutely no attempt to dodge this or anything. So can you say it just hits?
That's
Because I'm
yeah.
totally okay with this just hitting. You can roll
That's
for
fine.
crit or something, but
No, I wouldn't be.
He's basically just aiming for your chest, like a punch to the chest.
like whatever. Like I'm making absolutely no attempt to stop this or block it or dodge it or anything. So assuming he hits, you gotta roll damage or something.
I would admittedly hesitate feeling Stool's fear. So I would perhaps still punch him, but probably nowhere near as.
Like not a crit, is what you're saying.
Not so much that I perhaps wouldn't put anywhere near as much force in it as I was originally intending. More just like a
Love tap.
just like more kind of a shove than a punch at that point. Like
Shoving
a light
him
shove.
onto the stool.
As
No,
Cobalt
Not,
rushes
not
from the dark,
shoving him over, kind of just.
as Cobalt rushes from the darkness, screaming at Kamar, the punch that he sails your way suddenly kind of slows down a bit and instead batters against the front of your chest harmlessly. What it's worth, in your emotional state, you went for the aggressive hand you're used to, so it was your injured hand. You do feel a rack of pain.
Yeah,
You're not
that's fair.
really pain. You don't pay too much attention to that as the other things suddenly enter your mind of as the implications of what's just happened kind of rise to you. At this point, the rest of the party starts to make their way out of the darkness as well, or jogging or running behind.
Not me just yet.
You are
I'm
a bit
actually
behind.
going
You're about a
to-
minute.
A turn behind you.
I'm going to just,
Well,
admittedly, with Kamar in the way, just check Stool for injuries, like just a quick glance.
It's awkward to get sight of him because Stool is actively placing Kamar between you and him. Now.
Yeah, I know.
So it's upon the little bits that you see, it doesn't look like he's hurt. In fact, during the run, you did see the glow in Kamar's hand, so you do know that he did. Like you recognized it as the lay on hands ability. You do realize that he did heal Stool during the journey. For what it's worth, although you can't see Stool to see anything right now.
Of all the people that Stool could have befriended, it's a sociopathic murder machine.
Who can't seem to fail persuasion rolls, so there you go. Like, I don't think I've rolled lower than 18 on that.
I don't think you have. That's the thing.
I'm just going to
I don't know.
Sorry, carry on, Phil.
I'm just going to kind of turn to look at the others. Very noticeably, just kind of a very loud, audible sigh. Just muttering under my breath, just, damn fool.
What, didn't it?
Just, I will check those that are coming out for injuries.
As he passes you, Flint kind of puts a hand on your back and says, "Come on, boy, it's all right," and kind of moves past.
Here, boy.
And as you kind of look through, you do see there's a lot of people that look a little like Turvey comes out, kind of his head down in a bit of pain, but he does make it out.
I cast Cure Wounds on Turvey.
You kind of move up to Turvey, who, seeing you approach, like he actually actively kind of steps back in, like not sure what you're about to do. Especially
in that
when you
case,
reach out for him, he steps back even more.
As soon as he does that, I suppose you could say aggressively. Probably that's not really what I mean, but I go forward, I grab him, I pull him in, and just say, "It's fine, we're fine," and then I Cure Wounds him.
Not okay. You pull in the little creature. and he kind of, it's like you've got a hold of his arm with a grip that's almost damaging in itself, and he kind of backs away, but as the glow lights up, he realizes what you're doing and doesn't resist as the healing goes off, and he kind of blinks and holds his head, then puts his hand down and kind of mutters a thank you.
I should absolutely know this, but what do I roll for cure wounds?
You don't bother about it. It was minimal damage.
Alright, well, if it's
Something
like,
you should have written down on your character sheet.
absolutely should.
This is like we're talking about. What's up?
I actually have the page. I could look it up, but
Are we able to see the hole that this gas is coming out of at all?
It was
It
in
was
the middle of the tunnel, wasn't
corridor of the gas. Like, did you actively stop? Like, everybody said they were running through the gas.
If it's like right in the middle and it's like we're gonna risk sort of being hurt even more by staying around there, then I wouldn't have.
All right. In that case, no, you didn't. You kind of ran through. It's not here. It does seem like it's in the center of the gaseous area. Like
yeah,
the gas is spread evenly around it.
Something I've just noticed: Cure Wounds literally says the spell has no effect on undead or constructs. Isn't Phil a construct?
Phil is not a construct. This
We
is a
went
deal.
through this.
This is something we talked about when he made his character.
Oh, okay.
Because I specifically said if Cure Wounds wasn't going to affect me, I wouldn't play a Warforged. Because
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, it gets very painful to try and heal me.
Okay. No, that's fine.
So yes. The idea behind Phil's character, for what it's worth, is that he is a inorganic being with a living soul inside him, which is the thing that the healing kind of affects. All right.
Cool.
And with that, unless anybody else has anything to do in this scene, as you all start heading off into the darkness.
Well, I guess I finally get out myself.
That's a very good point. Renland finally steps out.
You die in there. It's fine.
I have good news. The goblins will be joining us later. They're not going to follow us through this route. They're picking a different one.
I'm actually just gonna. Idiots, the lot of you.
What? I said I'd pay them more if they actually joined us again and then led us the rest of the way. They seem pretty happy by the
Do you
idea.
understand why we came this way? To save time. Do you know what happens if we have to wait for them?
Oh, we're not waiting
Use
for
what
them.
time we save.
They'll eventually catch up with us. They know where we're going anyway.
Right.
Seems fine to me.
And with that, we are going to call it tonight, as it is 10 o'clock.
It is.
So, thank you guys for joining me.
9:59 is what I have.
I've got literally 10 o'clock on my PC. This is an exact 10 o'clock finish for me. I mean, it wasn't an exact 7 o'clock start because somebody had to have unavoidable tech issues. God.
Sure.
God, Beanie.
But yes, I hope people enjoyed.
I take comfort in the fact that I make all the best decisions.
You make all the best,
But you're missing the most important part. XP.
Experience.
Yes, indeed.
Now, believe it or not, those bandits were CR 1/8, so they were of 25 XP each, and the captain was only CR 2, so it was 450. However, because of the situation we were in, I'm going to double that, so that is 1,000 split amongst the group. Eldif was no use. Still, Turvy did help, so that's one extra person. So I will say that that's split between the 6 of you. So that will be 180. I'm rounding it a bit there. 180 experience each. For that combat. I'm going to say Cobalt and Kamar, you both get inspirations for the scene with Stool.
What
Very
about
much entertained me.
inspiration for me dealing with the goblins about how they're totally going to find us later on? Totally.
I mean, that was good and it was in character, but I feel to reward that would be not doing justice to the scene between Cobalt and Kamar, just say like that. I enjoyed that. That was very good roleplay.
Fair enough.
Don't reward failure, Beanie. That's a slippery slope. I've learned this the hard way.
I'm a DM. I want them to fail, Mike. That makes my job easier. Don't you understand this? Anyway, yes, I will end my stream there. So I hope people enjoyed.
All right.
I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
So yeah, there you go. That's the end of the stream for tonight. So thank you all for watching. My next stream will actually be on Monday. It'll be 8 PM GMT and it'll be Killing Floor 2 as normal. So thank you all for watching so far. Hope you had a good time, and if you want to catch up with the rest of the story, it is 13 sessions for you to catch up on. That's a lot of time, but hopefully the explanation at the beginning of the video will give you a bit of an idea of exactly where the characters are at the moment, but there's a lot of depth with the story, and there's a lot to catch up on, so yeah, thank you for watching, and good night.